All right, we did it. Welcome, everyone. Look at this reunion.
Feels good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We got all the boys back in town.
Yeah,
guys, we got a great show for you planned. We'll do introductions up front because I know a lot of my audience knows you guys already, but we got new audience here too. So if you guys want to round the horn, introduce yourselves, your resumes, and then we'll jump in.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Ben Pappas, retired Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel, served in the Marine Special Operations Command, commanded 2nd Marine Raider Battalion, also served in Force Recon and the infantry, and did some time with the Joint Interagency, doing some of that stuff as well, too. And great to be here. Check me out on my YouTube channel. Currently, I am an executive coach, a leadership and life coach, and do consulting for businesses as well, and trying to be cool like these guys and grow my channel. So please check it out.
Yep, we got that in the pinned comment as well. I'll be rotating those through for everybody, so you can make sure you go support all the channels. Aaron?
Awesome.
Oh, well, thank you very much. What's up, Aaron? I was a PJ. I was a PJ for 18 years. I did another job first, got out of the Air Force, started the One's Ready podcast. We help people get ready to train and hopefully succeed inside of these Air Force Special Operations career fields. You might not know about them. You might not know what we do. If you want to, come over to One's Ready. You can follow me over at Instagram at Aaron Loves America. That's the same thing on Twitter. And I just talk shit about politics. No big deal. Passed 100K recently. I'm at about 102K. We're trying to go to 200. Let's start changing this shit.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Jakey boy.
Let's go. I'm Jake Zweig, United States Naval Academy football player in wrestling. I had the unique ability, or I guess privilege, to play football with Ben Pappas. He claims I killed him in SEAL training. I don't remember it. Other than that, man, I've been doing a lot of public speaking lately. I got a new video coming out. I did some gangster stuff. I hired a professional photographer. I've got movie quality film coming out on the last speech I gave. I, too, have a YouTube channel. I, too, am upset with YouTube, and I have not been using it that much lately. I watched Nate the other day give some commentary, and I said, golly, Nate has turned into, who's Steve Brokaw? Is it Steve Brokaw? Is that the guy's
Tom
name?
Brokaw.
Tom Brokaw. Yeah. I was watching Nate.
I'm like the Temu version of that. Thanks.
Nah, listen, man. I was watching you. I said, man, Nate got his inflection down. Like he's like, you can hear the music in the background playing like he's on the news. I said, man, he killing it. So y'all can find me anywhere you want to. I'm easy to find.
All right, and then I am Nate, Valhalla VFT, for all of your guys' audience, retired Green Beret, and do the same thing all these guys do. Me and Aaron, political commentary, right? That's what we do. We pretend like we know what we're talking about, which is fun. So tonight, guys, we're going to do a couple different topics, but the big one we are going to do is, of course, if you got this eclectic group of veterans here, you got Green Beret, Navy SEAL, MARSOC, Air Force, PJ, we can't not talk about the war, the Iran war. So that is going to be our first topic. I just want to get around the horn. Maybe if we get, how do we feel before we get into like more objective? How do we like feel about the Iran war? Are we pro-Iran war? Are we anti-Iran war? Where are you guys at? Has that shifted for you since the beginning? Where are you at currently at, what is this, almost month 5 of the 2-week excursion?
I guess I'll start. So, man, I'm as close to a complete anti-interventionalist because of all of our histories. I have a really high bar for combat operations because I know exactly the toll that takes on everybody. 13 service members, multiple injuries. Man, you gotta freaking convince me. Now, here's why I tell you that I'm just tired. This is how I feel about the Iran war. I'm tired, but it has nothing to do with the Iran war. I'm tired of America, who is the hegemonic superpower, globally untouchable in military might and ability to visit violence upon anybody we want at any time. I'm tired of the way that we conduct war. War used to be, I decimated the entire country. I put your head on a pike and I walked away after 2 weeks, and that was it. We don't do that anymore because of political pressure and social media and the boo birds that are crying about everything. Whether you feel one type of way about this war or not, I'm tired of how we conduct war because it's only a detriment to the hegemonic superpower being America. I wish, it is my hope, and this hurts me to say it because I value human life. The Iran war should have been a continued campaign until that country was completely crumbled, left in rubble if they were truly a threat. I don't know if they were truly.
That's a good point.
I don't know if they were truly a threat. We've been hearing for 20 years that they almost had a nuke and they almost had this and they almost had this. And I get it. But, people often ask I'm not a MAGA guy, but they're like, when was America great? America was great when the military acted without influence from other former powers or other force powers in the world to get after their specific interests. And we were influenced by nobody because we knew that we were the gorilla in the room. So for those reasons, man, I'm tired, boss. I'm tired of seeing it's so good. We're going to talk about some of these rescues that happened. My friends got hurt on the rescues. They risked their lives to do it. Is that what we need to be doing when we could just stand off and literally glass an entire country at will and then ignore the social media and political outcomes of it? I don't know if it's worth it, man. And I'm tired. I'm tired of war.
Ben, how do you feel?
Yeah, man, I'll jump right in there. It was a hard one, very conflicting question when you ask that. I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've ever sat here and thought, well, how do I really feel about it? But feelings wash over me, and I will tell you, they range from, at one point, I think about all the people we lost in Iraq, especially when they were sending over the the advanced IED material, the mines, doing training. I can remember when we were in the Najaf, doing raids and things, and sometimes rolling up on members of the Badr Corps, actually doing catch and release. And these were, this is another proxy basically for the regime in Najaf, Iraq, and all over Iraq. They had agents running around, and it was all off limits. Some of the shrines were off limits. And so it ranges from outrage and rage and the feeling of well, we should do something, to the other side of me thinking about, all the Marines I know that are going to have to get ready to do some amphibious operations, and maybe crushing through a strong point operations, doing, forced opposed seizure of Bandar Abbas or something like that. We can get into that too. And I think about the casualties, loss of life. And then you get down to it. Is one of our people worth that, worth any of it? And so then my strategic mind, you guys know I'm a strategist when I talk about what I do. And so I try to break it down objectively, because my emotions get in, and I think, like I said, yeah, stick it to him, get him. And then I think to myself, well, what are the core vital strategic interests at risk right now? And as Aaron was saying, a core vital strategic interest is this: number one, physical security, defense of the homeland. Were we under threat? If you are, that's a reason to do it. Next, economic prosperity, economic gain. We'll talk about the stacking of reasons why we went to Iran. Why are we in Iran? Petro aggression, economic domination, all those things like that. These are core vital interests. But again, the times we risk life and limb, we risk blood and treasure, especially blood, our blood, American blood and lives, is when we have a physical security threat, a threat to the homeland, a threat to our people. And, like Aaron said, was that there? I don't think so. I don't think so. So I say I'm split in some ways, but at the end of the day, when I think about, the war, I don't want us to be at war there. I don't want to go to war. That being said, make no mistake as I say that, our fighting men and women, our armed forces are ready to rock and roll if they have to. Okay. So don't anybody listening out there thinking wow, that's the sentiment of the Marines. Sorry. No, it's not. They're ready and waiting, ready to go.
Just had a family friend, young Marine. I think he's in Camp Pendleton right now, home on leave. He was over at the house yesterday, and I was getting the deep dive. What do the Marine privates feel about this? And he was like, surprised. I figured there was going to be war, right? And
right.
he was like, we have that. And he was like, honestly, they don't really support the war, but they also don't give a shit because they're Marines and they want to go fucking fight. It's like, I understand that from a young 21-year-old Marine too. Yeah.
Exactly. That's it.
Jake.
Man, it's a tough one, right? Because Aaron called me out before the show as a Jew. Right?
You didn't have to say that. We were in the backstage.
I'm just saying.
I'm not going to get my $7,000 check
like,
now.
No, hey, nobody forget.
I'm just saying, right? Like, it's okay, because I think part of the problem, and I said this, maybe a year ago, I feel like we should just carve Israel out and put it in South Texas. Just give them that little coastline in South Texas.
You were saying that a year and a half ago. Yeah, I was
like. Let's make the world a better place, not a worse place. And I know this, as long as they're in Israel, I don't know about y'all, but if someone moved into my backyard until I'm dead, we're going to have a problem, and that's where we've been for the last 70 years, 70 or so odd years, give or take, however the math adds up. But as far as Iran goes, I just think it's kind of a travesty, because I feel like Aaron hit it on the head when he said, if we're going to go to war, go to war.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to like do a little police action, do a little police action. But I said this in Afghanistan. We were done in like 6 weeks in Afghanistan. We could have left.
Tora
Right?
Bora was in 2001.
Yeah,
You know?
like we didn't though. We didn't leave. We stayed 20 years, and what do? We lost a lot of money. Deficit went up. America didn't get better or worse. You know, my biggest gripe, and I hate to say it, we got technology. We could crush the whole world, but we act like we're still flying 5th generation fighters, like 6th generation fighters. Break out the spaceships, fly around the earth, show everybody what we got, and just tell them, go back in your fucking holes and leave us alone, and we're going to make you disappear. Okay? But right now, the country is so divided. You're like blue and red that right now, you know, I just keep my powder dry because I'm going to be running Texas when this shit gets done.
Well, we can't talk about anything that starts with the letter M with this group of people on the show. We will all get a quick visit from the government with our backgrounds.
We sure will.
So for me, I'm you know, a lot of people think because I'm so anti-war in Iran war that I'm just like this isolationist, anti-interventionalist. That's not actually true. I actually want us to be fighting a war against the cartels currently right now, like in Mexico. Like I am all about, to Ben and your point, Aaron, like if this is a threat to the homeland, which I view the cartel and fentanyl problem as a direct threat to the homeland, I am all about leveraging our military to go fight that war. But I agree with you on this, is it's like, was Iran actually a threat domestically to the United States? I mean, like I think Aaron said, what have we been saying this for like 32 years now? That, or how long have we been at war? And anyway, to your guys' point, I agree with everything you guys just said, is if it makes sense for the United States to be at war, great. And I do like what Aaron said here is like, we need to go back to the World War II style way of fighting a war, which is we go in, we go to win, we will put our boot on your neck and we will end the war. And we're not just going to stay there for 20 years so that the military industrial complex can make $10 trillion while, you know, service members die. And then Vietnam, and it's not even like this is a new thing, you know. My dad fought this exact same type of war in Vietnam. We were there 19 years, nothing achieved, and we left. And then, you know, Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria. And so it's like, what
Dresden
exactly are
great
we
again? People talk about civilian death. Look up Dresden. Look what we did to Dresden. Did the people of Dresden threaten the American homeland? No, but we were at war. So we wiped it off the map. And it, again, terrible loss of life, tragic. But that's how you fight a war.
But also in those wars, you go back to World War II, it's like, regardless of the history that we look back on, right? There's a lot of, maybe people think maybe we didn't fight on the right sides, whatever. That doesn't matter. At the time, this was a world war, right? Our allies were at war, like massive major scale war. And we would be currently right now in that type of war if, let's say, Germany decided to, you know, blitzkrieg Poland and invade France. Like as a NATO ally, we would be doing the same thing today. So we had the reason to do it. And this one just feels like this is why I want to get into strategic objectives here first. I think my biggest thing with this is like, at least George Bush lied to us, and he lied well. Right, like you know what I mean, like Colin Powell,
Rumsfeld lied well. Bush didn't lie.
You know what I mean? But was it Colin Powell or Rumsfeld that was?
Yeah, Colin Powell as well.
With the little vial, this one vial, right? And again, but if you look at the approval ratings for those wars, I think Afghanistan was like 94% when it started. Iraq was like 89%. George Bush's approval rating at the start of those wars was like historically high.
Shock and Awe had like a 98% approval rating. Like when we started dropping those, when those videos came out of the first smart bombs that we could drop inside of a air tube, and it would just crack a whole building off. People couldn't get enough of it. Like YouTube wasn't what it was back then. Imagine a channel that just showed that kill footage every day.
Yeah,
every single American would be like, "Fuck yeah, let's go."
But you know, a couple things too. 9/11 was a kickoff. People they're scared, they're enraged. I knew people. Right. Remember talking to this one guy who was, you know, on the National Security Council for Bush. And I asked him, I said, did they really believe all this? I said, what was the main thing they were feeling? He said, fear. There's so much fear in the White House because, you know, again, the intelligence apparatus wasn't the same then as it is today. Like you said, YouTube's not the same, but they really thought, what if this happens again? What if, you know, there was huge fear. So I think coupled with, the lying and the, deception, they were really afraid that this was, was on their shoulders, that what was going to happen next.
So Ben, I'm glad that you brought that up with whether like this is an inside job or whatever. I don't care. My point is, like, we as America felt like, or were given a legitimate reason to support those wars, to support
right, 100%. Yep.
We got to go get OBO. We got to stop, Saddam Hussein, all these different things. I feel like with this one, they didn't even try.
No,
there
you're
was
right.
no attempt to
I think you're right.
Like, they were just like, one day we were like, yeah, we killed the negotiators and we're bombing Iran. And
well, dude, it's like one day we captured Maduro. We're all like, huh, that happened. And like the next day we're like, what? We're in Iran. You're like, okay, well, why are we doing this? And it's just but I will say one thing, and not to start with the conspiracy right away, but the stacking of reasons, right? If you look at this term, and guys, I'm not going on the conspiracy train. You know me, I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
No, my audience is all about it.
All right,
you don't got to worry about it. We just put our
look up the number of
go.
Google searches from early January until February 1st, until February 28th on Epstein. Yeah. There's no more Epstein searches after February 28th. So I'm just saying that I'm not saying correlation does not equal causation. Right? That's not the reason.
I don't think that's a conspiracy theory.
There's a stack. Well, right. We know how power works.
Yeah.
And how power works. The other thing that's been super annoying, and I tend to believe this line of logic, and I'm going to tell you that with like a little bit of intellectual honesty here. There have been people who have made the connection between, why did we talk about Greenland? Well, you wanted to secure the northern shipping routes. Why did we start blowing up drug boats in the Caribbean? We wanted to have the Monroe Doctrine. We wanted to deny influence. Then we took Venezuela. What does that mean? It means the Gulf of America now is safe because we blew up the drug boats. We have Venezuela's oil and natural minerals. We have better deals with them. The Gulf of America is becoming one of the biggest producers of energy. The Strait of Hormuz provides China with 20 to 40% of any of its oil. They're on oil reserves. Iran was giving them oil at $5 a barrel. Yep. That's over now. Yep. People retroactively, and this is the part that I won't go 100% on that. The administration never said that. If the administration came out and was like,
right,
that's it. Exactly.
Because
it sounds really smart when you look at it, and then you retcon that and you apply what I think is just cope to this thing to try to make some sort of coherent plan. Listen, it's a great plan. It sounds smart when you say it. That ain't what the administration is saying. It's not what they're doing. Even if the outputs are there now, maybe it was just a happy accident that has to be.
Whoa, look at what we got here. Look, the rabbit we pulled out of our hat. But I mean, Jake and I talked about this last week on my show. We were talking about, if you had said we're going in, reducing their ballistic missile capabilities, their defense industrial complex, this is a cost imposing strategy. We're going to bomb them. I can't guarantee nuclear weapons.
The whole thing is pointed at China.
You're going to feel the pain. And then if we did that and we said we did it, we smashed you. I could do it again in a month if you don't negotiate, you don't come up with a new deal, and we leave. But instead, we get these three objectives: no nukes, no more anti-ballistic missile capability, and then third, it was really strange, decoupling, from the proxies. How are we going to do that? And number four was loosey-goosey, get rid of the regime.
There was also the real, we got to be honest with ourselves, right? What was the big one? We were going to change the regime in Iran. You don't remember Raza Pahlavi hanging out with Donald Trump as we promised the Iranian people were coming to save. What did Donald Trump just stand up, help's on the way? And it's like, okay, well, now is that what we're talking about? No, JD Vance is on Joe Rogan talking about, we never said we were interested in putting Raza Pahlavi in power. And it's like, well, yeah, it was good that you didn't want to do that anyway. But that's, to your point, Ben, it's like, that's not what you told us up front. You were going to stop the nukes that you already stopped during the 12-day war. Yeah. And you're going to change the regime. And now it just feels like, well, we're fighting a war to open the Strait of Hormuz. And it's like, the Americans look at that and they're like, they're not retarded. Like, well, that was open before the war. So what's the actual, that's going to lead into now is like, I think that's a good way. What you guys were talking about is, okay, well, now we're here where we're at. And this is the system we'll get into like conventional versus asymmetric warfare and what this war really actually is at this point. But what are the objectives now? Like, what is our actual objective in Iran as we've thrown the MOU out the window, right? I thought, I was hoping we were like, okay, even though it's not a great deal, we'll get the fuck out of this thing. Well, that's scrapped, right? And we're back to full scale war. So what are the strategic objectives now? Like,
hang on, Nate. Let me say this real quick, because I think so. When 9/11 happened, and I had to give a presentation in front of my class at business school, I said this is a world-class special operation. Okay. I knew that they had cut somebody's head off in first class. This is about an hour and a half after it all went down. I was thinking about it. I got to commend Iran and their Mosaic plan. Okay.
Oh yeah,
because
We'll talk
they
about
are
that for
making
sure.
us look stupid. Okay.
Huge miscalculation. Huge miscalculation on our part.
Huge.
Mhm.
Oh, they got 32.
Can we explain that real quick for the audience?
Okay,
how the
so-
Mosaic plans work, because I think it's really important. I think it's maybe the most important part of how they've leveraged an asymmetric warfare here that people don't. I don't think Americans even have any idea that this exists.
So Iran, and I'm going to do justice if Aaron needs to come in here and add a little bit of education to it, but it's pretty simple. Okay. Iran, after watching Iraq and Afghanistan and how we did business and come in and kill the leadership and just
Libya.
destabilize the country, right? Like just, any country we go mess with, right? We just snatched Maduro out, but they've been on the Mosaic plan for a while. Okay. And so they said
it was literally built to beat America. They watched Iraq and Afghanistan, and they literally changed their entire country's military strategy to stop what we did, and we didn't orient to it. Go ahead, Jake.
So they have 32 self-governing military bodies.
30
Crazy.
30 what?
39 separate provinces.
39
I thought it was
separate
32 too, Jake. So
okay, my bad.
I'll fact check.
My bad. Look, it's Aaron, right? I know we're going to get the facts on here. So 39 individual military provinces that are independently governed by the next person in charge. Okay, and their sole goal is to fight as hard as they can, no matter what, using any tactics that they have, should their country come in peril.
31.
Something else?
Fact check.
31. Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, we were all wrong. But
We're all
close
wrong.
enough.
Good.
I was closer than Aaron was. I feel good today.
You were, and I went over.
Price is
so
right.
Price is right.
Price
I
is
got a
right.
0.
So 31 districts or 31 states, right? Put it in American terms. And I want everybody to think about us and Great Britain and how we fought Great Britain in the revolution. We did the same thing, right? Great Britain lands somewhere, we went to work. Okay. And so Aaron's 1,000% right. We did not calculate the fact that we killed their first 11 leaders in the first, call it week and a half. We were just like giving them the business.
48% of them in like the first like month and a half.
And then
we clacked off 80 of them in the same building in one strike.
And then we realized that did nothing.
I mean, and
Nothing.
I think it's just knowing that this is like really a strategy of the weaker power. This is a defense in depth. It's a defend and delay. We learned this like in infantry tactics, right? You're going to, Australian peel. It's a very similar thing, but it's decentralized command and control. And terrorist organizations actually use stuff like this, where one cell doesn't know the other cell, where they're located.
Yes, yeah.
So, I mean, I think, exactly what Jake is saying, but it's interesting, but, back in June of 25, we actually had the chance to take out the Ayatollah then, but they weren't sure. It wasn't at the tipping point. And there's something interesting that happened between, then and February when we did it. And what I find most interesting is that most people think that Israel was really leading us into this. I tend to think now from my research and based on stuff that I've looked at, the CIA were the ones who basically led this up and said, we got the POL down, the pattern of life. We've done this over all this time, high degree of accuracy and high degree of certainty. We need to strike now. And that's why we did what we did and when we struck. And so whether it's Mosaic or not, you're going to have to take and conduct an operation like that anyway. But I think the expectation, the assumption that we would have such an upper hand once we did that was total miscalculation,
And I think for the audience to kind of like make it make more sense compared to like if America was invaded, right? America gets invaded by a much stronger power. Obviously, we're in a hypothetical world for that, and they schwack our president, dude. Like day one, a president, and they hit like Congress during the State of the Union. Like, you know what I mean? The president, the entire succession, or a White House correspondence dinner, let's say, where everybody in the government's in one place. They schwack the entire base. But we have a system to where all 50 independent states now, even if you cut off all power, all electricity, they basically, all those governors now become their own authority to independent militaries for the state themselves. And even if Washington state goes down, Oregon is conducting its own military striking against this foreign invader no matter what. It doesn't like matter. Oh, Texas goes down. Well, it doesn't matter because Kansas is still fighting in a different way.
Right,
It's
right.
like
That's exactly
the idea that you as a foreign invader are going to be able to like defeat that is it would be a nightmare, right?
You know what's scary though too?
Here.
You know what's scary about that, Nate? Real quick, Jake, let's jump in.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'll say this. Sometimes you ever met somebody where you're like, oh, their strength is actually their weakness too. Like they're really good at this, but it hurts them. This thing actually, it's their strength, but it's their weakness, because I wonder how many times we've talked about it. You know, we've asked in my audience, and we've said, you know, do we think we're really actually talking to anybody? Or is it like we don't really know who we're talking to?
Yeah,
so it could be like, hey, Mohammed down in Bandar Abbas is like, I'm not giving in. Screw you. He's dug in perfectly. Yeah, but like we're in the open here. We got to make a deal. And he's like, fuck, I got the drones. I got everything. Launch it. Attack the boats. They're like, don't do it again, dumbass. And they're getting pounded in other parts of the country, you know? And so that's how I wonder. I'm like, I think the guy down in Bandar Abbas down there's like, I'm dug in. I'm good. I'm dug in like a tick. You guys go deal with your own crap. So I think it could be a weakness in some ways too.
We saw that in Afghanistan, right? That's kind of how tribal Afghanistan worked with the Taliban. It was like there was no like centralized authority whatsoever, right? Like
it wasn't the same kalat to kalat. You'd be cool with one village. You'd drive out of that and you'd catch an IED or you'd catch a coordinated attack. You'd be like, we're cool with your bros. They're like, sorry, that's not my tribe.
Yeah,
I had in
Somalia.
Right. I had an operation one time, guys. We get off the bird, we infill, we get to the target, and there's 4 A&A police cars in front of the compound. Like the A&A is literally here hanging out and partying with their Taliban buddies. You know what I mean? So it's like but that's just what to the point of like how do you cutting the head off the snake is not a military strategy anymore. It's not like removing Stalin or Hitler. It's like that doesn't do anything, and so. And that makes a conventional war that we're trying to leverage. That's what I want to talk about next is like, what is this war? Because I feel like we are fighting a conventional war and Iran is fighting a completely asymmetric, to Ben's point, like war of attrition and survival. And so 2 nations are fighting 2 completely separate wars against each other. How do we win an unconventional or asymmetric war with conventional means? It seems like that's what we're trying to do still. What you guys think about that?
You know, man, and Jake, I'll let you jump in here with this, but I had a professor once. He was teaching low intensity conflict and counterinsurgency. I'm learning all about how these organizations work and everything. He was a Vietnam vet, like your dad, I think special forces veteran. He said, we went to Vietnam. We put on our football helmets, our shoulder pads. We're like putting our cleats on. We're going to go mess some people up. We're going to hit hard. Let's go. We're getting all warmed up, hitting each other, our shoulders. He said, we got there and they're spinning the ball on their finger and like, we play soccer. We don't play football here. And he said, and he's like, they just ran around scoring goals on us. And we were like, trying to hit people. And, every now and then you get a hold of them, but they're running all over the field. So.
And 19 years later, we fled, so.
Can you guys tell me when a counterinsurgency or when a regime change has ever actually worked? Because I don't believe there is a historical use case for why we would conduct a war like this, and we keep learning the same lesson.
100%, it never works with air power alone. 100%.
I'm a big proponent of trying to tell my audience that, Ben. Air campaigns don't change regimes.
No, you'll pound the crap out of them. You'll bring them to their knees.
It's the first thing they tell you in the Air Force. We're supposed to be the people who are like, we own the sky. And they go, no. You own the sky to make the way for the Army and for the Marines to occupy the territory, because it's just like CQC. You don't own a room unless you're in it. When you go back in, you got to re-clear it. Air power is the same way.
Well, I'll tell you, I heard something good, Jake. Good.
No. I just wanted to bring up this point back on Nate's about America being invaded with 50 states. I think we live... we're probably one of the last new countries in the world right now. Okay. And it's hard for people to understand that grew up in America, how much of a fight culture we have. Okay. And I want to remind everybody, like, why did the Japanese not invade America? There was a gun behind every blade of grass.
Mm-hmm.
I want to just say this really because it's fucking cool. All right.
Guys, we were born of insurgent tyrants.
Well, that's what I was going
to the crown.
That's what I was going to say. When you guys said like no insurgencies ever worked, I'm like, friendly reminder, do you know why we exist? is because
you know what?
we won as an insurgency. The counterinsurgency lost, you know.
Absolutely. And I want to tell everybody there's at least 150 million males in this country that are screaming Red Dawn when they wake up in the morning, right? Like they live for, I mean, there's a whole generation of us that live for Red Dawn, right? The Russians and the Chinese show up. Woohoo, let's go. But we're different than the rest of the world in that, like, I mean, we were spawn of a revolution with a bunch of muskets and Indians running around in the woods. We didn't line up in straight lines. But like you guys are saying, we don't learn our lessons because this is like the third war we're trying to fight asymmetrically, right? And it's
we're not trying to fight it asymmetrically.
No, I'm saying we're fighting an asymmetric war, and we're trying to use conventional tactics, like you're saying. Like,
and they have to be, though, too. You know, terrorism is asymmetric as well, but you have to make sure it matches, it's suitable to your values, to your culture. Like if we go in there, like to Aaron's point, if we turn it into Dresden, we're gonna have a lot of problems at home too. People are gonna say we lost our way. And I'll say one thing, you know, strategic culture wise, you know, we're different than we were, but I do believe, you know, the U.S. American citizens, America would come together and rise up. But I want to say this: I was at a force planning conference for Operation Inherent Resolve, like, you know, dealing with ISIS a while back. And you can imagine it's like 2014, 2015 timeframe. And there's a civilian in there from the, you know, joint interagency. And it's, you know, who's who in the zoo from SOCOM in there. Everyone's planning. And he looks around the giant plasma screens, you know, how we do with all this stuff and everything. And at the time, SOCCENT commander, Special Operations Command Central, was General Nagata. He gets done speaking. This guy stands up to ask a question. He goes, I want to say something, guys. He's like, you guys are, you know, over here talking about like rebels and all this stuff like that, and how you guys are like, you know, kind of the you have like this underdog mentality. He's like, yeah. He goes, America likes like Luke Skywalker. They like, you know, like attacking the Empire and blowing up the Death Star. He goes, you guys are the Empire. You guys are the stormtroopers. He goes,
that's a great point.
I swear, it turned me inside out for a minute. And then all of a sudden I have all this PTSD kicking up from all the raids and everything. I was like, what? No, I'm just kidding. But I was like, crazy.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong though, Ben. In that story, America is the Empire. You're like, we're not the resistance. What are you talking about?
Right. But this is
I never thought of it that way, but you're 100% right there.
You know, but I think that's part of it too. And like, as we're fighting conventionally, to your point, you know, it's because we can, and because, you know, well, we don't want to bomb their desalinization plants like they're doing. They're going asymmetric now because they have to, you know, but it's going to come to a point where, just like in World War II, we're going to make the declaration, say we, the Trump administration, is going to say, we're going to really apply coercive power now. We've given them time, because this whole thing, to me, the waiting, I mean, I think we get a sense of who President Trump is now as a leader. Like, you know, he's going to unleash the hammer on him. I think they were like, let's give them a few months. Let's let them figure it out. If they decide to reach an agreement, cool. If not, you're going to let us do what we came to do anyway. I think that's what's going on right now, personally. I think we're going to unleash the dogs of war. We said, look, we told you they're crazy. They're cuckoo. They won't play ball. They won't do an agreement. This is where the mosaic defense comes in and hurts them, because who's the real leader? I don't know. We don't know. We haven't heard anything. So-and-so is meeting. There's a guy like the IRGC commander makes fun of him. He's like, this loser, why is he speaking for me? I'm the big boss here. And I say no.
And every time we say that we have some discussion, you'll have like Iranian state media will be like, the fuck you talking about?
Right.
He didn't talk to you. And you're like,
every time.
Every
time.
And so it's like, who was he talking to? You know, there's a lot of memes of like Trump. Have you seen like Trump looking in the mirror and it's like him as dressed as the Ayatollah looking back at him? As like, that's who he's, you know, negotiating.
Wait, the gay one or the straight one?
No, it's like him with a turban and a beard as he looks back at himself, and it's like that's the Ayatollah.
Well, exactly. That's the scary thing.
Like, yeah, who are we actually negotiating with? But for me, and this is what I want to get into. I mean, I do like the idea of talking the asymmetric warfare and how Iran is leveraging it. Let me ask you guys this, because speaking of Trump said in an interview, or maybe it was at the NATO press conference, that there was no way anybody could have forecasted that Iran would shut down the Strait of Hormuz. There was no way. And it's funny because I have a video 10 months ago, and the entire video is, if we go to war, this is what will happen. The whole premise of the video is me showing the Strait of Hormuz, how much oil comes through it, how it gets down through the Strait of Malacca, China, Asia, how it would be affected. And I'm like, It's up on my channel still 10 months ago. You can watch it. And I'm like, if
You're
my
Nostradamus,
dumbass
man.
if my dumbass by myself, like enlisted Green Beret Nate could was thinking about things. You're telling me the entire might of the Pentagon just slipped their mind?
I think the scenario I'm picturing now, Nate, is someone's like, does anyone see any problems with this? They're like, nope, no problem.
Nope.
Nothing.
Okay, I do got to tell y'all this story because this is very poignant. 2003, I'm in J5 working on future plans, and one of my bosses says, "Hey, Jake, I think we can handle terrorism the way the WHO handled polio. Okay, it's 80% education, 20% vaccination. Okay." I said, that sounds really good. I go in there. I got a colonel from Delta Force, Green Beret colonel dude I'm working with, and I give him the plan. He said, that sounds good. And so then we take it up one more rung, and they're like, WHO is the Democrats. I was like, what? They're like, WHO is the Democrats. Dumb plan. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, wow.
And then I went back. I told my bosses, I was just like, yo, this is the dumbest shit in the world. Put me on a different contract. This is beyond dumb.
Yeah, some crazy stuff, man. People bleed over a lot of crazy stuff into these plans, But back in the day, I don't know about now, but for sure.
Clearly, because we in the same shit, Ben. It's the same minions in there running around chirping.
You're not wrong. Right? You're not wrong, man.
Like we shut down, like they saying. I did a video 10 months ago. Shut down the Straits of Hormuz. It don't take a fucking rocket science to figure this shit out, right? Like,
right?
They'll
never dare. How are they going to do that?
What makes me so mad is like you have to put that again. The whole like, oh, this is all meant for the Monroe Doctrine and denying China and all this other stuff. No, bro. 10 months ago, you didn't even consider it, and 3 knuckleheads that just have a high school education just told you were wrong, and this is what's going to happen. And now you retroactively made some sort of plan up, and it sounds smart and it sounds good on a podcast.
Right.
Like, bro, the internet's forever. We have you on video that you couldn't figure it out. What are we doing here?
I feel like it's like the guy in the raid from Django Unchained with the hoods. He's like, I don't know about here, but this part right here is real tight because something get out there.
Next time, it's full regalia. This was a good dress rehearsal. Next time, full regalia.
Full regalia.
So I think, in Ben, what you were just saying there is about the way you think that like Trump is looking at this of like, okay, we gave you your chance. Now we're no shit gonna, put our boots on your neck. But here's the thing. We did that in Vietnam for 19 years. We did that in Iraq for 23 years. We did that in Afghanistan for 20 years.
Yeah.
Who's in control of Afghanistan right now? Do you guys know what government Vietnam has? A communist government now.
Right.
They're doing well. But my point is like, we decided to put the boot down and like, we're going to show you. And then 19 years later, we're like, well, you know what? The American public is sick and fucking tired of this. So we give up. And so do we really think with Iran, which to be honest, if we're comparing Iran to Afghanistan or Iraq, like Iran is 1,000 times harder for us geographically to deal with. Like, so the idea that we're just going to like,
they're
ideologically, Persians are incredibly proud people. Like it's just like Afghans, right? They're like, yeah, go ahead, let's fight it. We've been fighting war since Alexander the Great tried to come in here. Feel free, you fucking idiots, right?
Right.
So what is us like? Okay, we're turning the bombing back up to 1,000. It's like okay, but like, well, let's do 19 years of bombing Iran. Do you think that's going to make them just one day be like, you know what, America? After you've killed 100,000 people, but now we've come to our senses. Like, do we really think this is where this is going?
I think as a strategy, so a couple things. I think of Kosovo in '99. We took down the bridges, we bombed the hell out of them, took out the roads. We never went in on the ground en masse. No, there's a SEAL war going on there, Special Forces war, all stuff like that. But
yeah, one of my buddies got half his skull opened up in in Bosnia. So we were there.
Yeah, high intensity conflict in a small place for sure for people, but. Writ large conventionally. And then linebacker 2 against North Vietnam, we're trying to bring them to the Paris treaties, And so I think we can do this. So 3 phases, 3 gates that need to be crossed. Number 1, isolation. We're doing that now. We're destroying bridges, destroying roads, destroying, infrastructure that would allow for resupply around Bandar Abbas. This is also strategic messaging. It's letting them know, hey, guess what? You see what's happening? It's kind of like a siege. Does it feel like a siege in Bandar Abbas is about to happen? Yeah, that's what we're trying to show you. Number 2, though, and this is a critical gate for everyone watching, okay? If we start seeing deployment orders for like 1st Marine Expeditionary Force, the 82nd Airborne, thousands and thousands of troops, and I don't mean just airlift, okay? I mean also you're going to have to see the ready reserve fleet, right? All the shipping that it would take to put the armor in theater. The difference between Operation Iraqi Freedom and now is that we floated a lot of armor, a lot of heavy Iron Mountain assets over there. We can fly it, but it's going to take hundreds of sorties to do this. And we had a safe place in Kuwait to land, right? We had a unopposed landing. We had permissible environment.
We called it a wall of iron that we built in Kuwait.
We also owned Afghanistan at that point. This was 2 years later.
Right.
We had taken Bagram and Kandahar by that point.
Right. And so I think, then the third gate we'd have to see is the shaping of the American people's will. And to your first point, Nate and Aaron too, is that we haven't seen any discussion like, come on, this is why we need to go, what we need it for. This is why. We have to see an AUMF, an authorization for the use of military force, even being discussed in Congress. We haven't seen that. We need to see the readying of, mortuary affairs, casualty collection points. If you start seeing mobilization orders, you start seeing troops getting on ships, I think that would do so much to change the strategic situation for negotiation in Iran. But again, you'd have the American people to answer like, whoa, what are we doing?
They're gonna be furious.
What are we doing? Right. So, I mean, but without this storytelling, like you said, right up front, Nate, and I mean, obviously with your channel, you do a lot of great, stories, narration, you're a great communicator with all this stuff. And so up front, number 1, and the same thing with you, Aaron, and you, Jake, too, is that they got to communicate. They got to say, hey guys, here's the deal. Here's what we're doing. Here's where we're going. And even tell the story. Once upon a time, we'd had this. Now we're here. If they don't do this by this time, people are getting on ships, armor's getting on ships. We're going to start building up the Iron Mountain. And then the last gate is when the AUMF is discussed. If we looks like we can get maybe that, we're going. That would move, I would think, whoever's talking to them in Iran. And if no one's talking to them because it's Mosaic, it's bad. They're going to be like, I still don't care. He's like, I still don't care. Bring them on. Bandar Abbas, we're strong. And he's like, I don't care what you do. While the guys in Tehran are like, no. We need you to calm down. We need to, work this out.
But the problem with that is that we have to also always factor in America's political system, which is much different than China, which is much different than Russia, which is much different than Iran, which has a single authoritarian rule to where they don't give a shit if the people don't like what's going on, right? It doesn't matter. But in America,
in fact, they'll kill 30,000 people.
When are the midterms? Midterms are in November, and so you want to launch Republicans, you want to launch a ground invasion into Iran? Well, guess what? No, you're fucking not going to, because
we'll hold up an NDAA because it has the SAVE Act on it. Because China doesn't do. You think China gives a shit about what the competing parties say? No. If there's a piece of this bill that funds the military just prior to midterms, and it's more beneficial for the Democrats or whoever or the Republicans to say we're not going to support this thing because it has this thing attached to it, you think that happens in China? No, you get killed for that.
Or Iran, they don't care.
Let me ask.
But I mean, America. But my point. Let me finish this real quick, Jake, and then my point with this is, Ben brings up a great point, like communications, PR strategy. You have to factor in the politics, which the Trump administration has not done. They just their messaging was Iran will nuke Israel, and people are like, we don't fucking care, dude. It's like 2026. Nobody cares about this anymore. That can't be your messaging. Is like, they're 2 weeks away from a nuke. It's like, yeah, we have Benjamin Netanyahu in 1993 saying that. Like, nobody believes
people can't afford groceries. The gas.
We got a regime change. Yeah. It's like nobody gives a shit if you.
The boomers won't let go of their houses. There's a housing crisis. Houses to 42% of the country that's illegal.
BlackRock's buying everything.
It's just, I think, Ben, I think you might be right. That's like failures in actually like communicating, like setting this up, using PR politics to make this, to get Americans bought in. Americans have to be bought in.
Yes, sir.
Or on anything, or your host, because we have a 2-year cyclical political system. You know what I mean? That's like, by the time you put somebody in office, they're about to start campaigning. And so it's like, you can't, like the Trump administration can't launch a ground war. before the midterms.
Right.
Here's my question.
You know what I
Nate.
mean? Like, even if we wanted to, even if it makes sense, even if it would win and in that conflict, and you could be like, guaranteed within 6 months, this will be over if we do this.
As soon as you
They'll
send some
never
people
do
home
it.
in body bags, the American people are gonna flip and be like, "What in the world are you doing?" You know, it wasn't broken before. You broke it. Now you're trying to fix it. Now we've lost money. We've lost people. So go ahead, Jake.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna ask y'all a question because this is how I feel, and it's the exact same thing we're talking about. The rudder is swinging full left and full right at this point, and everything that is on the table right now, the Democrats are just gonna sweep these midterm elections. Okay,
I think so too. Yeah,
and they're gonna sweep them, and then it's gonna swing back the other way, right? And I was trying to be
cooked, bro.
Yeah.
well I'm just saying, right? Like
Probably. Yeah.
the swings are getting to be absolutely preposterous. It's no more
the
American.
pendulum is just
The pendulum is starting to shake the whole apparatus, right? And so in this case, you guys, you know, we're all in America. We see it. Like no one's like Trump's talking about we're going to get crushed in the midterms. But the problem is whatever happens in the midterms is going to lead to the next election in 2 years. And you're going to have somebody like AOC running and people are going to be like, we don't care. She's blue.
Yeah.
Look at Mamdani in New York.
I think
Mamdani,
AOC,
right?
Democratic
Like-
Socialists of America, they're taking over. They won 3 different seats in New York City. Mamdani is an open jihadi theater kid that was born in Uganda. He's been here since 2009, and they didn't care. The awfuls, the affluent, white, fat, ugly, liberal women in New York City were like, ooh, he eats with his hands. I love him. And now he's running New York. It's wildly out of fucking control, but welcome. That's the way that it's going.
So here's my question.
But also, I mean, go ahead, Jake. Sorry.
When like between Nate and Ben and Aaron, like how many of these cycles do you think we have before we have complete anarchy? Not anarchy in the country, but I'm just saying, like, if AOC gets put in charge of the country, I mean, you better. I mean, I'm happy I'm black because I'm gonna get a bunch of contract money. But you better get ready. Okay.
The other 3 on the panel are cooked.
Yeah, y'all cook. Well, Ben got a little brown in it.
Yeah, I'll just go down to the beach for a bit, and I'll be good.
Not me. I'm cooked.
But
I want to say this.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Ben.
So I think one thing about like revolution, rebellion, all stuff like that, hypothetically, of course, just to make sure it goes in the transcript so we don't get zapped here. But I'm saying, I think we'd have to have a massive economic fallout for that to happen. I'm not saying
revolution, Ben. I'm just saying like to me, if AOC wins the presidency because the Republicans have soured the country so much, like I'm not saying she's going to cause a revolution. I'm just saying
she just caused more problems.
Now we're going the other way.
I understand.
What Ben just said though is very, very important, and that's going to bring me into. I agree with what Jake's saying is, and what Aaron is saying. It's like, okay, well, democratic socialism is the way forward, but we have to identify why. Why is that? And Ben brought up a good point. The economy would have to be catastrophic. Well, Ben, we have to sort of separate ourselves from where we are in life. The economy is currently catastrophic for 21-year-old men and women. It just objectively is. I mean, if you look at Gen Z, you look at the amount of people that live with their parents that are under 25, it's like over 50% now. The average first-time home buyer is 40 years old. The average home buyer is 60 years old. And I don't want to rant about the boomers. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that on this one. But my point is we are in a K-shaped economy. For those who don't know what a K-shaped economy is, those of us that are retired out of the military, mid-40s, we're doing very well. Okay. The 21-year-old kid, and the way I know this is I just got my master's degree in business 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. And all the kids, I was the old fucker, right? At 30, 39, I was the old guy in class. And I just talked to one of the guys I was in school with. I actually was getting my hair cut and I hadn't seen him in a year. And I remember talking to him right when we were about to graduate. And he's like, I've applied to like 50 jobs. Nobody is taking me. And I asked him again. I see him a year later at the barbershop. I'm like, oh, how's it going, man? Like, where are you working now? He's like, still looking for work. This is a dude. This is like a 25-year-old dude with an MBA.
Educated.
Just like, I can't find like the best possible business degree you could have for general work. And my point with this is like the young generation is fucked. And so, of course, when somebody like Mandani, we can be like, well, why the fuck would anybody vote for this, Islamic socialist or whatever? But if you actually look at the way young people in New York, you think about the cost of living in New York. If you're a 21-year-old kid in New York and you're living with your parents and you can't afford anything, and then Mamdani and her AOC walks in and they're like, hey, we'll give you fucking free buses and and cap your rent. You don't think, of course, that's what they're going to vote for compared to the current
but the
system?
problem is then he raised the bus fare. So,
but Aaron, but that doesn't matter because we're talking about politics, right?
Right.
Like you come and promise these things to this young generation who is fucked. Of course, they're going to be like, socialism sounds amazing because I can't afford rent. I live with my parents. So, it's like, to Jake's point, that is what they're looking at. It's like, in their eyes, Republicans have caused this. So why would I not vote for AOC? What's the worst that's going to happen? I'm not saying that I'm an AOC supporter. I'm just saying, like, we have to think that, like, the broader
I just think
of America, you know what I mean?
I think it's back to storytelling, though, too, communication and storytelling, because I don't think we can attribute, the K-shaped economy to either party. I think it's been, probably monetary policy, fiscal policy.
I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying the Democrats, AOC can go, yeah, look what they fucking did, right?
Hey, Ben,
right. I know what you're saying.
Ben,
yeah.
I want you to understand, on this channel right now, everybody got a college degree. Everybody on this channel.
Why do I need to understand
that? You ain't got a college degree.
Aaron doesn't?
Well, why do I need to understand?
I have a high school degree and 3 CCAs.
I don't understand.
I'm a
Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying, Ben. From
everybody but Aaron.
Understanding and education and learning level, all of us, because we come out of special operations, is willing to learn. Okay. I will say 90% of America is not willing to learn. Like, they know what they know, and they're not trying to figure out what's going on. To Nate's point, they literally are sitting there like, I can't afford to buy more groceries right now, or I can't drive to see my mother 4 hours away because I don't have $90 to put in my truck. Right. And so when I think about it like that, I try not to ever use my glasses, because I'm like, shit, I'm fat, dumb, and happy. I'm on the upside of the K scale. Right.
That's kind of the point I was trying to make with that.
When I mentor all these young kids on my channel, and they're like, I'm 26, I can't get a job. Do you think I should go? Yes. Do you think I should go in the military? I'm like, hell yeah. 4 years, either enlisted or officer, is not going to hurt you in the military. It's going to make you more valuable. And so when you hear this kind of desperation out of the younger generation, and you're like, man, that's, I pose the question because I don't have the answer.
Yeah.
I think
part of it too is that, there are a couple things. AI has a lot to do with the technology. There's going to be, a divergence between people who are making money in an old way and those who are benefiting from the new investment in new tech. This is a whole separate discussion, but I think that, it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, but I think that, you're going to have people that are going to benefit a lot from investment in new infrastructure and AI, but there's going to be disruption in the beginning. We've got to make some real hard changes, and not to go all the way down to the economics part of it, but I just think,
but no, it's important. The economics part is important because this is what I was talking for, like Iran, from an asymmetric warfare standpoint. To Jake's point, just made a great point, is that young kid who doesn't have $90 to put in his gas tank, like me or all of us on the panel, are like, yeah, gas is $5 a gallon, it's $3 a gallon. Does that affect my daily life? No. But for him, right? Yeah, that $550, $550 for his gas, he can't fill his tank up. And then he looks and goes, why is this happening? Well, obviously, because the fucking Iran war. All of this ties together for American support for this type of conflict or stuff like that.
But wait, there's more.
It is important, the economy part is very important.
But there's even more. There's more coming, because if the straits stay closed even longer, the economic shocks we can expect $200 Brent crude oil, a barrel.
That's what I've been telling people. Yeah.
So, we're going to have double-digit gas prices very soon. And then wait, there's more. After, in 2027, probably going to expect to see a massive spike in the cost of living overall for food in the grocery store, everything, because this year's harvest was affected by the flow of fertilizer coming through the straits, all shut down, urea, you name it, right?
Yep.
And so the planting season was affected, and it won't hit us as much here in the US, but other countries, which could lead to more conflict. Those that import their food, going to be a lot of problems. So yeah, it's hugely important. But as far as like what I was saying originally is that I don't think we could look to see massive political upheavals until we have like Great Depression level.
No, I agree. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
People ask me all that all the time. Are we ready for revolution? I'm like, no.
You have to ask them, are you? The thing is, are you?
Yeah.
We answer that for yourself first.
So much worse before we hit that point. But But I think this is important because for Iran, right, when you're the weaker country who is trying to leverage what you can asymmetrically, what Iran looks at and goes, we've been under economic sanctions for 45 years. We're struggling. We've always struggled. Their people are comfortable in that type of environment. The American people are not comfortable in being poor and desperate and starving and being bombed. We are not. And so for Iran in this war of attrition, I think that is their strategy, is like, we will just continue to try to make economic pain for Americans and the world, and do it in a way with Lego memes and all kinds of shit to where people look at this and go, Iran's the underdog. And the reason why the economy is bad is because Trump and Israel, right? That's the way the perception of this is, whether you agree with it or not. I kind of actually agree with that because we're the ones bombing Iran. But all they have to do is hold on. That's all they got to do. And for America to lose, Iran just has to hold on, right? Because there will hit a point where American people go, Ben's point, when gas is $10 a gallon, do you think Iran can never have a nuclear weapon is going to fly with the American voter?
Right.
No, dude, and
Yeah, it's just surprising when you look at it, like the strategy, the rationale for why did we start this war when we did. And there are a stacking of reasons, like I was saying, and like what we've all been discussing. But I think, we were already in a K-shaped economy last summer. And so, I mean, how would we think this is going to fix it unless we do what Aaron said and we go full in double Donkey Kong, and go a la World War II, but, to get the defense industrial base really cranking. But, that's not that type of war, and we don't want it to be. So.
Yeah.
There we have
it. I do want to talk about nuclear weapons, right? Because that is kind of the main thing. They can never have a nuke. I have my own personal opinion on Iran having a nuke or not having a nuke, but I want to get your guys' take. Are you bought into the idea of Iran, if they were to get a nuclear weapon? Is that terrifying?
Do you think nukes exist?
Do you care?
Let's start there. Do you think?
Okay, so I do like this because I do have a good reason for this. Yeah, do we think nuclear weapons exist, Aaron? I know you.
So go to the Joe Rogan episode. You can look at all these videos of when we tested nuclear weapons, and it's quite clearly a model. Like, just go Google it and whatever. So we said that we had nuclear weapons,
like a small tiny model.
Dude, I just had the nuclear officer for the Marine Corps on my show on Wednesday, and they exist. They're there. So
okay. I mean, well, let's. But Ben, wait. Let Aaron.
He's seen the big board. He's seen the Dr. Strangelove board.
Let's each do our own takes, right? So I want to hear Aaron's take. I do know Aaron's take already, but the audience should hear Aaron's take.
Listen, this is one of those things that is mostly a joke, but it's fun to think about. Like, do nuclear weapons exist? We've always had technology like gravity bombs, things that people have never seen. What is it so far out of the realm of possibility that we had a psyop to end World War II? We have a weapon that you've never seen, and we're going to drop some high ordnance bomb that nobody's ever seen, like a gravity bomb, which is non-nuclear. We're going to drop it on this city, and then we're going to put out 2 decades worth of a psyop where we own all of there was only 3 major news channels. We owned every single bit of it. The CIA was running Mockingbird during that time, and the OSS. Is it so far to believe that we just had a weapon and then all the other countries are like, oh yeah, we totally have a nuclear bomb too? Why hasn't there been a nuclear test on video since the 1970s? Why are they always underground? Why do you never see them? Why do we have these things that we say that we have? Wouldn't it be more beneficial for us to say that we have, I don't know, say like the last PSYOP, Ghost Murmur, the CIA said that we could find your heartbeat from 40 kilometers away using AI? That's fake. That's not true at all. So the government has always lied to us.
True.
Forever.
Yeah.
But you're, and Ben, what you're going to do here is you're going to listen. What you're going to do here is you're going to tell me, listen, they've lied to us about everything forever, all the time, except we do have nukes. That's my thing.
Hold on. We know Jake, let's get yours first before we get Ben, because Ben, we knew where Ben was going with that one.
So you guys know, like I told y'all in 98, I learned about the mountainous of Space Force. Like we had a mountain in Nevada where we had fucking Space Force in 98. Okay. So I don't care if we got nuclear weapons or not. We got shit a lot better than that. But I would just argue something fucked up Nagasaki and whatever the other city was, right? Like Hiroshima. Hiroshima and Nagasaki got fucked up by something. Whatever it was.
Why couldn't that be the first Moab that was a gravity bomb? Why is it
Godzilla.
1000%?
Yeah,
whatever it was, whatever Godzilla came out, it doesn't matter. The shit ended World War II real quick, right? And so my point is, I was just thinking about this today for some reason on my walk, right? Why the fuck ain't we dropping Moabs over there? Like resupplying our stock of Moabs and using them on Iran to get that fucking 3-mile mushroom cloud and just let Iran know that we're fucking dropping real shit now. That was kind of my thought today as I was walking. I said, man, we really should dump a couple Moabs over there and really liven up the place.
Well, but my question would be there to that is like, well, then why not just drop a tac nuke? We say that we have tactical nukes that are
we don't have them anymore.
That are good.
But we don't. Well, we don't. I learned this just literally Wednesday. I just learned this on Wednesday.
We don't have.
I just learned this on Wednesday. We don't have a tactical anymore.
Just like we don't have the technology to go back to the moon.
Well, we do. I'm just saying. Like I thought the same. I said the same thing in the show. I was like, dude, why don't we use some
now
tactical?
That makes me want to be on Aaron's side when you're like, when the expert's like, yeah, well, we don't actually have tactical.
You played yourself.
That's
like,
true.
Wait a second. Wait. What?
This is what I just learned on Wednesday. Like we don't have them anymore. We got rid of them. We don't have them.
So wait. So okay. So then
I know. I trust me. I'm not. I'm just telling you what I learned the other day. Like we don't have them.
But yeah, what's your take on if we have nukes?
Dude, I don't know. This is what he told me.
Yeah, that would make me be like, oh, this is bullshit, though.
I mean,
told me that. You know?
Rip, I hope you're not lying, damn it. You're making me look pretty stupid right now. No, I mean, I thought the same thing. I was like, we should go over there.
Nukes. It's just fun.
So we were talking about Russia and Russia using tactical nukes, what their threshold, would they use a tactical nuke to zap somebody? Yeah. And I was like, well, why don't we just, if they do that responding kind, like we don't have them. I was like, what do you mean we don't have them? He's like, no, we got rid of them. I said, what? So I guess.
Okay, well, didn't know that.
I didn't either.
So here's my take. And I didn't hear this anywhere, learn this anywhere, but I just thought about this because coming from 1st Special Forces Group, we legitimately were going to invade North Korea. For people that don't know how close we were,
just gonna say
actually invade North Korea. My unit was the first unit that was going to be in there, and I was on a dive team at the time. So it was like only way we can get in here is for you motherfuckers to swim through the fucking sea mines, and it was just like. This seems like a bad idea, but anyway, the one reason I don't know anything about the science. I'm not going to pretend I know anything about nukes or science. The one reason why I do believe nukes exist is because the United States has not overthrown the North Korean government. That by itself makes me go, because we would have with Trump. I trust me. You guys have no idea how much Trump wanted to invade North Korea back when the Rocket Man stuff was going on. And so the fact that we didn't do his grandpa, we didn't do his dad, we didn't do him. It's like, it's tough for me to believe that country is still standing if they don't have nuclear weapons. So
I was going to say too,
it's just the North Korea thing where I'm like, okay, yeah, because America would have come and curb stomped your asses by now for sure.
You were like, are you afraid of Iran getting a nuke? I mean, obviously ideologically,
yeah, that's just where I want to go with the question.
What they've demonstrated, their aggressiveness, how they say death to America, they hate us, all the stuff like that. North Korea's got a nuke, right? That's pretty damn scary. It's pretty damn scary. Do I think Iran would actually use the nuke? I wouldn't want to be wrong. I'll say that. Like personally, in my heart, I want to think
that's interesting.
But I want to say this. You know what I mean? If I'm the man in the seat, I'm the person, I'm the freaking president, I'm in charge, commander in chief. In my heart, I would want to believe, no, I don't think so. They hate us, yeah. But then you think, what if you're wrong, man? If you're wrong,
I haven't thought about the what if you're wrong, because I have the opposite take on that.
Everybody, I mean, we don't have to guess. It's not America. It's not. If we're wrong, it ain't America. It's that little blue star.
Well, that's we're gonna get into that. Here
it ain't America. Like
well,
if we're wrong,
but we could be next, though. You know what I mean, Jay? We could be next.
Symington Amendment has entered the chat.
Yeah, like.
I think Benjamin Netanyahu is in the chat. Friend of the show, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the little blue star. That would be the first sediment, right?
Like, we're available for speaking engagements, Zoom call only, though.
Ben, I do like what you said, because I always usually have a pretty good logic-based argument for people on this, and I've never had anybody say that back. What if you're wrong? Yeah. And so my logic-based argument on this, and I think you guys will all kind of be like, agree with this. Okay, let's say Iran gets a nuclear weapon. They do exactly what Trump says they're going to do. They drop it on Israel. They kill 9 million people. What's the response? What happens? We
Oh,
kill
man.
92 million people
Oh,
with nuclear
man.
weapons. We
Man.
destroy. Iran doesn't exist anymore. Like we kill every
Oh,
single
man.
person. Iran knows that. So Iran understands if they nuke Saudi Arabia or Kuwait or Israel, they cease to exist. Everybody knows they'll get turned into an obsidian parking lot. There will be no Persian people that exist. So does it actually rationally make sense that would it be worth it to them to drop a nuke on a neighboring ally for every single one of them to be killed?
You know what
Like
I wonder?
on a human being level,
Yeah.
does that make sense?
I want to
no.
say,
I've never been pushed back on.
I
But
think
what
you're
if
right.
you're wrong?
I think you're right. But I think you're right.
Real quick, Ben. Hang on.
Go ahead.
Does it stabilize the Middle East?
Well, I want to get into that. Let's pivot that, Jake, because I want to get to that. That's my next question. But let's get the answer to, my logic. Is that a logic fallacy? Do you guys think that's fair logic? What I just said?
Say it one more time because Jake's got me thinking.
So the idea that if Iran got a nuke, they would use it on Israel or Saudi Arabia, and then they know the second they press that button, every single one of them dies. All of them die. All of their children die. Everybody dies. That's because that is what will happen, right? Like we would not let Iran nuke an ally and get away with it. So do you really think that if they had a nuclear weapon, North Korea doesn't use them?
Well, right. Like, when you say it that way, North Korea uses it to get money. They're like, you want us to mess around? We're going to launch this missile
press the button
over Japan, known warhead, but we're going to show you, and then we're going to show you what we can do. And we're like, all right, here's some more money, here's some more aid. Leave them alone. Okay, they showed they're still here. It's for significance. They want to show there's someone on the block. You know, they've got a weapon. They want respect for what they have.
But they haven't used it.
No. But my thing is this: that I think you're right that they know that calculus. And I want to say this: that it's more of creates a scenario in my mind. I wonder if, like, at some point, the Ayatollah in his inner circle, who are gone now, I have heard that he was actually more moderate out of all the group.
From what we're hearing.
And now he was like the one, like, hey, don't push him, get close, but don't, in case we need it.
But also,
the thing is, I wonder,
do we even know that? You know,
well, that's just things I've read. You know, this open source stuff I read. But I think that I wonder sometimes if they're like, we got to slow down on this whole death to America thing. We got to slow down on it because if we do get a nuke, we got to be like, well, not anymore. We were just saying that.
Right.
We just want to be in the club now. But now it's like they've created this culture, strategic culture. We're like, yes, death to America. And, you know, you keep messaging this way. So every time you get close to something, instead they're like, it's no longer death to America. We're not good. We're not good with Israel, but we just want to get a nuke because, you know, we want to be in the club here. If you change the messaging, it makes a huge difference. And I don't mean to be soft on Iran with this, but I'm saying words matter. What you're saying matters. And so now you've kind of pickled yourself where you built this whole strategic culture around death to America, death to Israel. We hate everybody except, you know, a couple of you. And we're trying to get a nuke.
Jake.
Because we think, what if we're wrong? This is the question that comes up to me. What if I'm wrong? These guys have been saying this. I'm going to come kick your ass. You ever know somebody's like wants to fight you? You're like, he's not going to fight me. And all of a sudden, there they come. You're like,
then he punches you in the face.
Right. You're like,
ooh.
Yeah. It's like when Sean Strickland was fighting Cosma and he said, he was like, come on, let's do the stand up. And he goes, he shot on me. And Strickland's like, he shot on me and I was fighting my way off the ground. I was like, you dumb idiot. If you lose this fight, he's lying right to you. Dude, he's lying to you. You know, it makes me think of that.
Yeah. So if you guys want to get smart on the kind of the logical dissection of exactly what Ben's talking about, look up Pascal's wager. It's a logical, basically a framework of what if I'm wrong and what do we believe and what's the output of that. Don't get hung up on the theological part. It was used in theological discussion, but Pascal's wager is essentially a logical discussion of what if we're wrong. It's a great point.
That's awesome, Aaron.
So let me guys pitch this to you because this was what Jake, that's why I stopped you, Jake, because I think we were going in the same direction here. For me personally, Iran having a nuclear weapon, here's the way I feel about it. I either want no one in the Middle East to have nuclear weapons, aka including Israel. You don't have them either, or both Israel and Iran get nuclear weapons. I want one of the two, and Saudi Arabia, right? Either none of you have them or all of you have them. And I think that's the mutually assured destruction angle that we have with Russia that kind of stopped the Cold War from actually, you know, turning into a nuclear Armageddon for the planet. I don't like the idea of just this one nation gets to have them and then they get to leverage that sort of hegemony over everyone else in the region. I think either we step in and do the JFK style, like, no, you don't get to have them either, guys. Or, hey, you get to have them too, because now if somebody presses the button, everything goes up, right? So I don't know. What do you guys think
Israel
about
already
that?
has nukes. I don't know why we're
Israel has
pretending
them.
like they
Of
don't.
course they do,
Israel
right?
has
And
nukes.
I think the jig's up on that. Even Mark Levine admitted that on his show the other day. But how do you guys feel about that idea? That's just kind of something I've thought about with
It's not a bad
if
idea.
they're
I
real,
just think,
how
again,
we
when
feel.
they're shouting death to America and they're, attacking our troops over in Iraq and all this stuff, I'm just saying, that's when you really are thinking, you're like,
But North Korea
well,
does that too, right? So my point is, like, there's plenty of countries that hate our guts that have nuclear weapons, and it's never been an issue.
Yeah, right.
But you know what I mean? But like specifically that, would you be comfortable if everyone gets them or nobody gets them in that region?
Let me say this though, Nate. I don't think North Korea, other than sending troops to Ukraine, has sent troops anywhere in the world, right? Like North Korea really doesn't leave its box very often. Is that right or wrong?
No, that's true. China as well.
So
none of the Asian countries.
They don't really leave their box. The difference here is, like, how are you going to give Iran nukes, right? Like, how are you going to say, like, it just goes back to, okay, I don't, like, to be honest with y'all, I don't really care, right? Like, I'm a big America first dude. Like, right now we suck, and like Ben said, we're the fucking Death Star and we're the fucking stormtroopers, and we got the old blonde man is fucking, I don't even know who the fuck he is. Maybe Darth City.
Hey, whoa,
you know what I'm saying? So
no. As the old blonde guy,
I voted for the dude. I voted for him. I'm not really mad at him. Okay, I'm just saying right now, like, we're doing nothing to stabilize the United States. And so if you give Iran nukes, what are you gonna do? Call China up, say, give them some nukes, okay? Or hey, we'll give you some ICBMs with a back door that we programmed in, right? Like, I don't know if any of that stabilizes the region, because the reason the region is unstabilized is because you had some fucking goddamn dudes take over a country that they ain't really part of, and you got a whole bunch of people around them that don't like their religion, and you're like, okay, let's put all the Jews in the middle of the Muslims and see how. By the way,
Jake is to YouTube. Jake is Jewish, so he is allowed to say these things.
I am Jewish. Yes,
I want the transcript of YouTube to pick that.
Yes, I'm 25% Ashkenazi Jew. Yes, I am.
Okay,
thank you.
We just had to give that PSA for all of our
channels. I don't know. I'm good on my answer.
Aaron, what's your thoughts on that with what I brought up?
Man,
they all get them, or none of them get them.
No, totally agree. Yeah, either everybody goes into a mutually assured JPCOA, everybody, IAEA is allowed into everybody with no question all the time. It's seen by an independent watchdog. And if you want to have a nuke for your own personal protection, it's either all or none. And that's it. That's the only way that you have it. Like, mutually assured destruction only works if everybody's violence continuum can go to the same level. That's the only way that it works. So if we're talking about, like, okay, nukes exist and countries are allowed to have them, well, then you don't get to make a moral judgment on whether I like this country or not. I'm sorry, those are the rules of the game. It's the only way you can play it.
Yeah. That's I mean, you said that much more articulately than I was trying to say it.
The only thing I would add to it. The only thing I would add to it is just it's hard to look at everybody as an equal player and to look at them like they're all trustworthy, because the risk goes up exponentially that someone, could be Iran, could be someone else, gives this technology to a proxy force that then does a dirty bomb in New York City, as all those books back in around the early 2000s were talking about. They put them in a container and they blip out a city.
Which is possible, for sure.
Now do the same thing, but do it from the opposite optic and see if it checks. So when Iran says that America can't have nukes because the CIA that will operate independently will drop a dirty nuke and then say it was somebody else, you tell me how the logic works there. Because I'm sorry.
I think we have a lot more controls and a lot more.
Ben, wait. To Aaron's point, who is the only country that's dropped nuclear weapons on another country?
The United States.
So Aaron's point is, they actually have more of a logic justifiable reason to say it is
but we already
more likely
have
that the United States
is this.
would use them on us than us using them on them.
The difference is this: we're talking about giving everyone a nuke, but we already have them. You know what I mean? This is the difference.
No, I'm not saying we should give them. Yeah. I'm just saying, should we be engaged in a war where we're bombing the fuck out of them to stop them from getting one, is what I mean.
Yeah,
because
I think it goes back to that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that I think if
I'm not suggesting the America needs to be like, hey, Ron, we're going to ship you some fucking nukes. No, I'm just saying, should we be leveraging this war against a foreign country to stop them from getting a capability that, you know, their neighbors have? That's kind of what I meant by that. I didn't mean like suggest that we need to be like giving everybody nukes, but should we be spending hundreds of billions of dollars to
think that's
stop
what
that?
In that threat assessment, I think, you know, if they're doing a threat assessment, they're doing their job, you know, in the military and in preserving that first core vital interest of, you know, securing the homeland and, you know, physical security. And they think that's a threat. Again, I think very specific objectives, if they would have stuck to reducing the ability to create, you know, like their nuclear program, much more understandable, these limited objectives. I think, you know, if we crescendo up, then we expanded into this broader war it's become. Now we're talking regime change, everything else. What we did in June, Operation Midnight Hammer, way different than what we're doing now, you know, and back then they said we obliterated them. Yeah. I was just saying, if we level the playing field, how do we do that if everybody's allowed to get it? But I think if they develop their own technologies, and we have to have a high degree of trust, because if we do see it as a threat, it's something, again, if you're wrong and we could have prevented it, you know, it's one of those things. So
I don't have a good argument back of if I'm wrong. Well,
it's
if I'm
hard.
wrong, then
That's
they nuke
hard,
the shit out of them and fucking 90 million people die. So,
Well,
my bad. I gotta do a I was wrong video on my YouTube channel.
The argument back to that, Ben, is just a mirror. So what if we're not wrong and we've killed all these people and we've caused all this damage for somebody that isn't going to use the nuke, and they really are, like, you have to believe, even if it's a 1% belief, that Iran is, because their stated objective is like, listen, everybody in the region hates us. We're developing this nuclear weapon to protect ourselves from other aggressors. You have to take that as 1% true. So what if you're wrong? What if this culture, which we agree is different, has different motivations?
Yeah. But that's why we have to have constraint. That's why we have to restraint. And I think that's one of the things that lately has been good to see, is we have had restraint. I never thought we were going to pause bombing for 2-3 months. There were a lot of people who are against it. I mean, General Mattis, you ever heard him? He's like, when you go in there, you got to go right to Tehran. What are we doing? Why are we doing this right now? We need to, as to Aaron's point in the beginning, end this thing quickly. I don't agree with that either, you know, just because this is chaos. You know, 4-star general's nickname Chaos. He's telling you how you win. That's what he knows how to do. But I think to your point, Aaron, I think that's why we have to have restraint. We have to go, not, again, no threat to the homeland. We don't have to go nuts. And I would like to see it end sooner rather than later. But at the same time, you know, I think we got to open the Strait of Hormuz, which is probably could lead into a whole other discussion of how do we do that.
I think that's a great discussion to have, because I really do. I think with the amount of, you know, military and strategic knowledge we have on the panel, it's actually a very relevant thing to talk about, because to your point, that is the linchpin, is that if Iran didn't have the Strait of Hormuz, he's like,
nothing. Yeah.
Like, this is cooked, like you're rocked, right? Like we're marching in and like hanging you up by your feet, just like we did Saddam, right? So the Strait of Hormuz is the strategic linchpin that everything, I mean, the entire global economy we see, not so much for America as much as, but I mean, we are affected by the global oil system. But like, so yeah, what does that look like? How do we open the Strait of Hormuz, get things back to normal while still being at war with Iran, when we know they have the capability? Every time they try to send a taker through, it's like, oh, here comes another, the Shaheed, whatever drone they have that just keeps fucking us up, over the $20,000 drone that, you know, is blowing up everything. Every time they try to send a new tanker through after, like, you know, Israel bombs Lebanon, it all falls apart. They try to send a tanker through, Iran blows it up. We're back to square one. How does America, we haven't been able to prove with the might of the American military that we can do anything to stop that. How do we do that? And then without spending $1 billion a day with aircraft carriers and the might of the American military for the next 20 years to actually facilitate and keep that open? Do we have any ideas on that? I don't even know if I have any ideas on that, but maybe you guys do.
I'm coming out of the box. Okay. How about we just give the world free energy, and then we come off the oil economy?
Jake, you might get us all killed even just saying that on this channel.
Are you telling me you have a car that's powered by water, dude? Because you're about to get murked.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say here.
Alien tech right there. Bring it out. Bro. Ooh, we got the hammer.
Jake's about to bankrupt the $1 trillion oil industry. No, I mean, Jake, go with that point though. I think it's a good
No,
point.
no, I'm just saying, like, me and Ben talked about this. I believe it was on his channel.
Yeah.
We're flying planes that we built in 1903.
It's true.
Like, we're using combustion engines that we built in 1859. Are we really sitting here thinking that we're burning oil and that's the way of the future? Like, I'm just being a realist. Like, you got to be fucking absolutely really dead in the brain to believe that our best technology was developed in 1903. And
I
we're
love
still
that you
using
said
it
dead
today.
in the brain, because 13 scientists attached to the alternate propulsion have been murdered in the last 2
Right.
years.
Yeah.
And the
Right.
last guy
We
that
did
did
this
it
whole
was going to
show on
testify.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Part of the UAP.
listen, yeah. I mean, it sort of looks like everybody that works on this thing gets murked for even talking about it, which is sort of odd.
It's crazy. Yeah.
The Matt Livelsberger thing I've revisited. You know, back then I thought this was like just a dude that was, you know, suffering from
Crazy
PTSD,
to
and
think
then
about.
but then all of a sudden later we're like, oh, actually, how come to Aaron's point, 19 more scientists and the exact same science that he was supposedly involved in have been unalive? That's a great point.
The thing is too, like Jake's saying, but I mean, we have now with the whole, UAP files being released and all that, we have these unacknowledged special access programs where they're hiding away all this stuff. And again, whether it's, otherworldly material, it's non-human technology, or it's just our stuff, like Jake and I talked about last Friday, it's our stuff. And we're just have it all way in SAP after SAP, unacknowledged SAP programs, special access programs. And, like Jake made a joke. He's like, why don't we just send our spaceships over there and take care of things? But we're saving them. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot to talk about here, but I do know one thing.
Let's get back to the Strait of Hormuz, reopening the Strait of Hormuz.
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
Like?
I'll tell you one thing. In the end of March, there was 100% no bet on Polymarket that there'll be a U.S. ground invasion.
Wow.
This week, it's a 72% no. So by that trajectory of a 28%, decrease in the no month over month over 3 months, by the end of September, we're going to be at a 54% yes that there's going to be a ground invasion. So, and the thing is this, we don't have a good political science formula that, you plug in this, plug in that, it's going to come out. But if we do strategic analysis, we look at indicators, like I talked about that first gate, right? We're isolating Bandar Abbas. Right now it's being isolated. Look where all the latest strikes are: bridges, railways, anything that can support the resupply. It's not Karg Island. Everyone keeps saying Karg. I've been saying Karg is a deception op the whole time. Why? You got to get through the strait still. The problem is the straits
it's all the way up in the deepest part of the strait.
They don't have any money right now. They can't sell their freaking oil. Why would we go to Karg Island? I've been saying it the whole time. But if you're going to secure Bandar Abbas, you take care of their biggest weapon. So that's phase one. Phase two, though, are the deployment orders, right? We're seeing the deployment, the Iron Mountain being built up. And phase three is the AUMF, all this stuff like that. So I just think the people who are watching this are believing. Strategic analysis is also showing this. If you look at the indications and warnings of a ground war coming, that it's going to happen, for my opinion, Bandar Abbas, Keshem Island. How you do that is exactly what they're doing right now. Number one, phase one's isolation, shaping operations. They can't resupply. You're going to cut them off. So that guy's been having all his fun with the drones and everything and the strikes and all that. They took out that tower they hadn't taken out the whole time down in southern Iran. That's on the border with Pakistan down there. They took that out. The tower that tracks all the ships, gone. They've taken
that
out
happened yesterday, right?
Yeah, more drone facilities they're taking out. And now, so what's happening is that you start seeing people bidding. They bid 46 million now, saying that it's going to be actually going to be a ground war by January 1st, 27. So,
but also I think that to your point, Ben, like if we look at history and the way we work, like that also makes complete sense, right? Like if you look at Iraq, you look at Afghanistan, it's like we have this kind of slow buildup.
Right.
I mean, George Bush said, famously said on that aircraft carrier that it would take 6 weeks for us to go in, remove Saddam Hussein, and be out of the conflict. And what are we just now talking about? Like today, like, oh, we're getting close to leaving Iraq in 2026, So I think to your point, I think it always kind of made sense that this is where this would escalate to. And having everything sort of fall apart at the seams and the MOU being over completely, I felt like we were like, I had a lot of, maybe it was, optimism I shouldn't have had. Like, oh, maybe we're gonna actually do this and get out of it, even though it's not great for the United States when it comes to, the actual MOU. But now, when you just throw that out the window and we're back to a full-scale bombing campaign, what's the natural escalation look
But
like?
I'll just say one more point though that is kind of tough. We're in a tough spot, which is why, again, the calculus for why we went into this in the first place, in my opinion, is very flawed for what we're doing. The strategy overall, the objectives, the strategy. No one ever said, look, boss, here's what it is. The assumptions were off. We all know that. Everyone watching, you all know that. The assumption that we're going to do this, cut the head off the snake, they're going to capitulate, the regime's going to change, or they're going to say, we're going to play nice, please don't hurt us anymore. We had a bad assumption because here's the thing. No one ever said, boss, what if we have to go on the ground force? How are we going to do that? Yeah, don't worry about it. Well, okay, don't worry about it because we have a 41% rate today. 41% rate of all our ready reserve strategic sea lift surge forces, 41% working success rate. Okay. We might not even be able to do it if we want to right now. We're going to have to get all these commercial shipping containers to take our M1 Abrams over, all our stuff over. They've been failing. The military sea lift command director said this Operation Epic Fury has been a PhD course in logistics because we didn't realize we've let our whole ready reserve strategic sea lift surge force, all these 45-plus-year-old ships, just degrade to where they don't work. So during Operation Iraqi Freedom, the preponderance, the major part of all the armor, all the mechanized forces came over on sea while the troops came on airplanes. So you did see a lot of people, because people in the chat might be like, well, at OAF, we came over on an airplane. Yeah, you did, but your stuff didn't. You know, your trucks, your armor, your mechanized stuff, all your food, all your water, the pallets all came by sea. So I don't even know if we can do it now, Nate. That's the only thing.
Wow.
So Iran, you didn't hear that. Damn it. We can do it plenty good. We're good.
Don't let you're on here
this
with
is
Ben.
a joke. We're good. We're plenty good.
Don't let you're on here with Ben. Just described.
I want to remind everybody of what we did in Germany because I've been watching the World War II tales. Red Ball Express was moving more ammo and fuel in one day than the Germans were moving in a month. So never doubt America's ability to get shit done.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
And I will say
real quick, I saw somebody before here and saw people talking in the chat. If everybody served on the panel, just so everybody knows, Nate's the lowest ranking guy here by a lot. So love you guys to death, but everybody on this panel has way more experience and seniority than I do. So let's just let's make sure we all understand that for my audience. No.
Yeah,
anyway.
the big linchpin too, to kind of like put a bow on this, like America can't do it alone. The Gulf states have to step up. The only way that the strait is secured is that the Gulf states invest a lot more money into a lot of these things and exert influence. And they look like they have zero appetite because they're not going hard in the paint now. And we fund a whole lot of these people like UAE and Saudi Arabia and people that have our, close to military technology and all this other stuff. Like the Gulf states have to step up. And if they don't, like, I do not believe that America could just do it on their own. It hasn't worked until now. Why would it work in the future?
Yeah, no, that's, I think that's a great point. Final thing I want to talk about with the war, and then we can move on to, just leadership and stuff like that, is who's winning? Who's winning, right? This is a thing that, depending on who you're listening to, America is fucking winning everything or Iran's winning everything. What do we think? Who is currently winning the war? Let's break that one down. Then we'll move on to our final topic.
There's no winning a war. Everybody's losing. Everybody.
Okay, let's skip Aaron because that's.
And Aaron, you got to tell us you got to tell us what happened with that rescue, man.
That's too. Oh no, we have to do that. We're doing.
Yeah, we got to hear about the rescue.
But for the final one here,
I got you,
Aaron. Aaron, you had the right answer right out the gate. That's what
Aaron's gonna give the right answer.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Cameras off.
Iran is winning because they're still winning. As long as they're alive and breathing, they're winning. Like, whatever we're trying to do ain't getting done, and they're winning. So, real simple equation.
I think here's my thing. Jake and I actually talked about this on Friday too, and Jake gave the answer there. Their goal, here it is. Here's what I say. I don't want to say this. Marine Corps officer, as you guys know, the long-haired guy. Yeah, I served a Marine Corps officer, for a long time, and commander, all that stuff. I don't want to say they're winning. I don't want to say we're losing. Okay, what I'm going to say this, but I have to go objectively as a strategist. Who is meeting their objectives? Their stated objectives by their senior leader. Iran has won. Survive. Now they got the straits. They're like, hold on to the straits as 1B, right? But they just have to survive, as Jake said. For us, we gave 3 strategic goals and one kind of maybe sorta, right? Number 1, No more weapons ever for Iran. President Trump said it. You don't believe me? Watch his speech on March 1st. Okay. Number 2, get rid of their ballistic missile capability. Okay. Or degrade their defense industrial complex. Okay. Number 2. Number 3, decouple them from the proxies, the Houthis, Hamas, Hezbollah, all these people. No more association, collaboration, or support for them. Okay. Which ones have we achieved? Nuclear weapons. We don't know. I think probably not. They still have all the fissile material, all the enriched uranium, right? Number 2, degrading and getting rid of their ballistic missile capability. They've demonstrated still they have it. So we haven't done that one. So it's ongoing. So I'd say, I could say fail. We failed. We haven't failed yet because it's not over yet, but it's not going the way we want it to. And number 3, for sure, Hezbollah and Hamas, they're still supporting them. They're still directing them. Houthis haven't even gotten in the game. The Strait of Bandar al-Mabeb, something like that, but down the other strait.
Strait of Mandab.
Mr. Ahmad, there you go. But the other one, if they tell them to close that, it's going to be more problems. Houthis haven't even gotten the game yet. So I would
that's another
agree
10%
with Jake.
Of the world's oil supply.
That's it. And that place is those two together with the Strait of Hormuz and the one he said, I keep messing up that name.
Strait of Mandab.
There it is. 37%. 37% of the world's oil through those two.
Yep.
They haven't even told them to do that yet. So they could push on some more. So I'll give with Jake that we got to say that right now because they're still around. Iran has more points on the board. Okay. Now, have we smashed the hell out of them? Yes. If we would have said, kill their Navy, attack them a lot, degrade their military industrial complex, and we leave. Yeah, touchdown, we win, right? But we didn't say that. We said some very hard things, and we had bad assumptions to think we can get them done fast. So that's my take.
What about you, Aaron? Well, you kind of gave the jig up, but
yeah, I could sit here and I could pretend to say that America's winning, and I could bring up the fact that Iran's Navy has been absolutely decimated. Their infrastructure is decimated. The way that they prosecute threats, their integrated air defenses, their leadership, like there have been good outputs. I still think the ledger is red. I agree more with Ben than I do with even my own position on this one. My base thing here is that nobody wins in a war. We didn't fight the war that we needed to. And again, you have to fold in social media and politics and all these other things at home. I'd be a fool to sit in front of you and be like, oh, we are winning, right? I think we can win. I don't know how, and I think it's a lot of factors that we don't control, but man, nobody wins when we go to war. The loss of life is always something that should be rejected and looked at very, very soberly. So there's no way in the world that with intellectual honesty, I could say that we are winning. Like Iran's goal, to Jake's point, is just to survive. If they survive, all they have to do is go, oh, America is the hegemonic superpower, the gorilla in the room. Well, we're still here. We're still lobbing these drones at your boats. We're still closing the strait every 3 days. We're still dog walking you in negotiations and saying we're going to do one thing only to do another. You have to be clear-eyed about that, and there has to be change. So the war is terrible. Nobody wins at war. And I'll tell you, like to Ben's point about stated objectives, it's just the facts of the matter. Did you get done what you said you were going to get done? Because that's the point of war, is clarified intent and guidance, and then satisfying that it's an official end state. We're not there. So I don't know how we get there.
Yeah, for me, I agree with Aaron. I'm on the side of everybody's losing. The world is losing. That's what I look at it. And not just like, oh, war is bad, so the world loses. Like, no, the global economy and our allies, like Thailand, the Philippines, Australia, Indonesia, all these countries are getting, Japan, Korea, they're getting skull fucked by the Strait of Hormuz being closed, because most of Asia gets all of their oil through the Strait of Hormuz. So
6-hour gas lines in China.
And China's
no more
losing. China's like, I feel like Russia is about the only country that's actually winning out of all of this, because Russia had all their sanctions removed by the United States, and now Russia is selling their oil at maximum prices to our Asian allies. Like Russia, I feel like, is actually the most emboldened. To Ben's point, China's getting beat up by this. America's getting beat up by this. Iran is getting beat up by this. Like, I also think we can't be disingenuous and being like, Iran is crushing everybody. It's like, no, not really. Like, they're getting just obliterated too, but they're, to Ben's point, holding on, right? That's all they need to do. Europe is getting destroyed by this. It's like nobody is winning, other than for a little bit we felt like maybe our greatest ally was sort of winning. I don't even think they are anymore at this point. Like, this has been such a massive negative PR loss for them too, that it's like nobody's winning at this. You know what I mean? At least in my opinion. I don't know where the outcome, what does strategic victory look like for me? And let's, like, final things, I guess, before we jump into the PJ rescue for you guys. I mean, For me, I don't care. I thought the MOU, I was hoping it was going to go through. It's not great. I don't want to give, let the Gulf states fund $300 billion to Iran and all these different things. We have to leave. But at the same time, I was like, this is probably the best possible outcome we could get. Like whatever ends this and we could get to some level of peace, maybe the Middle East gets stabilized a little bit, even if that means we leave completely. That's what I would like to see. I would just like to see the shit be over. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I want to go wrestle in Iran. Iran got some fucking phenomenal wrestling, right? And
Olympic weightlifters too.
Yeah, I would love to take my kids over there for a fucking month in the Russian gulag or the Iranian gulag, but they not getting me for no spy. So
I think a lot of good skiing over there from what I heard too.
Like snow skiing? Oh yeah, I guess they do have.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Mountainous area.
And they have no tactical nukes like us. Things you didn't know.
But yeah, Ben and Aaron, what's your final thoughts on that? What would you like to see to how this ends? Is it like you need to see American victory, or are you just like whatever the fuck gets us out of this thing?
Don't care. Ben's going to be smarter. I'll go first. Don't care. Negotiated peace settlement. I don't care if we have to leave and pull everybody out and there's some sort of negotiated settlement that actually benefits Iran at this point. I don't care. I'm tired, man. We have problems here at home. We have problems here that we need to fix in our own country. And having we tried to fight a 3-theater war for 20 years at GWAT, and where did it just blood and treasure? We just spilled into the soil. I'm tired, man. I'm tired.
Yeah, man. I mean, I agree with what Nate you're saying and Aaron you're saying. I would like to see us end this and be out of there. Obviously, people who are elected officials, they've got a duty to protect the interests of our country, and our military does as well too. So, I know hope is not a course of action. Hope's not a COA, but I am hoping that we're very clear-eyed about, again, protecting mission number one, strategic core vital interest number one, defense of the homeland, protect our country, our economic prosperity at home. And at the same time, I think, you're in this now. We have to exit the right way, which also has to demonstrate strength, because if we do it wrong, kind of like the Afghan exit, if we do this wrong, you might cause us to get poked at more by people like, yeah, we thought you're tougher than that. Guess you're not. Guess what? Taiwan, here we go. And I'm going to tell you, I know from a good source, it will not happen until 29, but it's not just one person that changes, because if they sense that there's in the system in turmoil, Taiwan could go down because they're like, yeah, you guys aren't what I thought you were.
We'll talk offline if you want a good source for what's going to happen with Taiwan. The guy who worked at the Siege of Sodef right before he retired for the war in Taiwan, Taiwan. That was me.
I would like
stuff
to say
we can talk about offline with that.
All right.
But yeah.
Hey, real quick,
but Ben, what you just said there is correct when it comes to the actual strategic plans for what's going to potentially happen with Taiwan.
I want to remind everybody what happened after Maduro disappeared and showed up in fucking America. You ain't heard shit out of no South American countries, period. To Ben's point, right?
That's true. That is actually true.
And if you sense that America is weak or whatever, all bets are off. But I mean, it's always the same argument, right? Someone tries us and then we smash them, and then we're the bad guys, and now we're in this vicious cycle. Yeah. You would hope somebody.
Just what Jake's saying, Jake, exactly. You're just making me think, because my deeper point at a visceral level, a personal level is, bullies are bullies, man. And if you don't have strength and you don't look strong, the bully's going to come looking for you. So I want us to get out of there, but I think, we can't do we got to act like America, man. We got to be strong as we leave. So either way, even if, like Aaron said, we have an agreement with them, whatever like that, but we still have to demonstrate strength as we do that. And strength doesn't mean we go pounding them into oblivion. It's like, no, we have to demonstrate leadership and say the reasons why, just talk to the people, whatever that is, that's their job. That's above my pay grade, but we can't show weakness, because then that could lead to more loss of life and treasure, blood and treasure for Americans if we show weakness in the system. To your point earlier, Nate, lots of people hate us, man.
Mm-hmm. All right. So next, I already put a poll up a little bit earlier. It's about what I expected. We're going to get into, this is the best part of the show because we have Aaron on the show. I put up the poll, the recent, Michael Bay's making a movie about it now, as far as I understand, the the down pilots in Iran. Okay, I put up a poll. What does my audience think? Is it a real mission, or was it a botched uranium heist? And 80% of my audience believes that this was a botched uranium heist. I thought we were going to get a 50-50 split.
Yeah,
I've talked about this before on the show. All of my information came from Aaron, so I can't pretend like I knew anything about this. But let's talk about this, because this is a PJ mission, and Aaron literally knows the people on the mission. But also, Aaron brought up some good points of like, it also kind of makes sense that it looked like a botched uranium mission.
Yeah.
So why don't we have Aaron break down the pilot recovery, from your angle, the people and all of that. I think that'd be great for the audience.
Sure. So we're going to focus it up here. I'm going to tell you right now, Vanguard Wall, I was on their podcast, recorded for 8 hours. They put an entire short out. It's like 30 minutes where I break down every single piece of information in a coherent timeline. So anything that I say in here, just go check that out. That's going to be the source material. What we're going to address directly is where this idea, and it's valid. I'm going to tell you right now, like looking from the outside in and not having inside info or not being able to see through the weeds here, I can tell you it looks like that. So we're going to talk about, first and foremost, you can tell me it's fake all you want. I'll tell the guys that I talked to that I know that went on the mission, both air crew and operators, and I'll tell them that they're lying to me and that they got me in their psyop. Okay. I also am not claiming that I was in a room where I saw this happening, but I will tell you, I work very closely with the fighter pilot community. The second that this happened, it broke loud, and I was in the center of all of the fighter pilots, which is my day job. And I was tracking this from the second it happened. Literally, somebody pulled me into a room and they were like, dude, this is happening right now. So what happened is we lost an F-15E. It was Dude 44 Alpha, Dude 44 Bravo. Dude is the name of the F-15, right? The pilot, and this is a very funny thing, the pilot that actually ejected, he was shot down by the Kuwaiti guy. This was the
I told my audience after the media finally released this story. But I was like, guys, I told my audience, I'm like, there will come a time that I tell you something I can't tell you. But I mean, you were right. You had called that weeks before.
Yeah, no, and I had to wait for it to break because I want to protect, I'm not trying to be first. I'm trying to be correct. So I want you guys to understand where I'm at here and why I'm speaking about this. So number one, personal experience. I literally know the people that went on the mission. So you can say you believe me. You don't have to. That's totally fine. The second thing that people often talk about, and I'm going to bring this up on the screen here. People talk about, oh, well, it was exactly in the same place as this place. Okay. It happened in Isfahan. We can see Isfahan right here. It's a nuclear facility. The pilot was shot down, geolocated. You can see this from all the videos and everything. It happened in this exact area. So now let's talk about how that can foul the information stream. And I just want to frame it like this. The military has plans for everything. When this exigent event happened, we got the first pilot, Dude 44 Alpha, right away. He was recovered. That was the guy that shot down twice. There was an A-10 that was shot off target that had to limp out, feet wet. He went down. A second PJ team recovered that guy. The misinformation started when we said, we got him, we don't got him, we got him, we don't got him. It's because we didn't put out, the Department of War specifically put out, hey, we know where all the jets are. We didn't want to let them know that was an F-15E that's got 2 seats in it. When that broke, somebody leaked that to the press. Now Iran knew that there was a third person on the ground, Dude 44 Bravo. He's the backseater. That's the weapons system officer. They call him a Wizzo. It happened in the area of Ishfasan. So my question to you is, if you think the military hasn't been planning to snatch this uranium forever, you're wrong. The tactics, the techniques, the procedures, these are all heavily practiced. And I'm going to bring up some proof of that when we talk about it here in a second. Do you think it was easier to come up with a plan from scratch? Or do you think it was easier for the guys planning this mission in a crisis to Google on Palantir, like literally search, do we have any plans that are going to happen in this area? They did. 90% of their work was already done. We know this in the military. You have shelved CONOPS that are actually 90% products, especially when you're talking about the exact same area. Intel reports, disposition of enemy forces, terrain, weather, likely areas of attack. We had all that stuff buttoned up because there is a plan that exists to go get this uranium. All they had to do was replace the target.
Aaron, that's very important for people to understand what you just said. There is and was a plan for exactly what the conspiracy is.
There still is. They might still go do it. But in this case, 90% plan in a crisis was already done. We knew how we were going to get there. We knew the tactics, techniques, and procedures to use. All we had to do was take uranium out of the 5th phase of execution, and we just put a person in it. And now we changed the geographic location just a little bit. It was largely the same plan. So I get it. You're like, no, this is a uranium facility. No, there's a plan for that, but we used that playbook to go get after
Right.
this dude. Now, what I'll tell you here is that we have been doing this in the pararescue community forever. This was on open source information.
I just saw a comment that said, "There's no runway, Aaron." So I think
Oh,
you need to.
Oh, okay. So
I love it.
But
I
no,
love
but I
it.
mean, this is important because I didn't know these things that you guys even do. And as a Green Beret, when you showed me this, I was like, "Holy shit! I didn't know you guys did this." Because when you
Everybody
hear
thinks
this,
that-
I always like, "Yeah, there's what the fuck? This doesn't make sense." But
everybody
you're right,
thinks that
like you guys do exactly this.
combat controllers, number one thing, they are not JTACs, is their number one thing. You know what they're there to do? To make runways out of places that runways don't exist. That's their whole job, to set up runways and control aircraft like an air traffic controller where it doesn't exist. This is 2023. This is the 123rd Special Tactics Unit. Here's a picture of them landing on something that isn't a runway, taking off little birds and landing A-10s next to it for forward air and arming refueling points. And here's the AC-130 taking off. And oh, look.
I mean, look at that. Yeah, there's the little birds on the
that-
aircraft.
Aaron, is
You know
that a
what'd be really,
package?
you know what'd be really crazy is if they went all the way through inserting operators to go get a
Wow.
guy and then getting them and then I don't know, bringing them back, which is exactly what we did
Yeah.
in 2023. These tactics, techniques, and procedures already existed. We've been doing it 4 years. Just
you know,
because
ju-
you're not
just
aware
some
of
color
it.
commentary on that too. You bring back a memory, but I was down in Sicily when the whole thing went down in Libya, and a package came down like that, and the stuff they unload from those birds is unbelievable, man. You know, they have like
Those
Yeah,
dogs,
birds, drones, all kinds of stuff. So
I think that's one of those things, Aaron. It's like, why was Aaron Love the guy on Fox News trying to explain this to America, like that this is a real thing?
he's the guy.
The government's like, yeah, this happened, and they don't tell us anything. And people are like, yeah, fuck yeah, right. Even I was like, this didn't fucking happen
Yeah.
until Aaron was like, no, brother, like, look, here's us literally loading little birds on the back of an MC-130 and flying them in, and you're like, oh, okay, well, this is
And
what
by
you
the
guys
way,
do.
this was 46 and then people are like, oh, it wasn't a runway. I will tell you from firsthand information, there were people in that room that were like, you can't land the C-130s there, they're going to get stuck. And they were
Right.
willing
That's
to
a
accept.
good point. That's what a lot of people don't understand too. Of like, no, you guys obviously, like, this was obviously a botched mission because you had to demo the aircraft.
But those same people said, Strait of Hormuz, they'll never close it. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair point. Now listen,
but
40
explain that part of it, Aaron, because I think a lot of us, even me, I was like, well, what the fuck? They were like, why did you get these MC-130s stuck? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, it's historically relevant. If you go back to Operation Eagle Claw 46 years beforehand, what happened? We had somewhere deep in Iran that we couldn't just fly into. We had to fly fixed wing aircraft. We had to land them in the middle of the desert and then get the helicopters there. And that led to the creation of JSOC, right?
True.
It's crazy to see this thing happen again. So they took the C-130s in, and despite, I know for a fact, there were some Air Force dudes that were like, listen, this runway, this area that you picked, it ain't going to be good. And they were like, listen, we have to rescue this guy. We're going to do it anyway. They unloaded those little birds, epic firefight. I go all through it in the 30-minute podcast on the 30-minute section of the Vanguard Wall podcast. You can go in and talk about how crazy that was. We drew a box around this entire area. And if you were a military age male, you got the fucking work for going anywhere near that box for almost 18 straight hours. Those guys killed a ton of people, right? They get the birds out, they go get the dude. And this timeline reporting is when they figure out that the C-130s are just stuck like Chuck. The little bird, they're like, well, why don't they fly the little birds out? Because it was a 7-hour flight in a C-130 in. The little birds didn't have the legs to get out. So the only thing that they could do would be to fly to the next PR event. So they were like, listen, we are stuck here. I will tell you, and the people are like, oh, well, we would never blow planes in place. Let me tell you about a story about my career. Every single time I've deployed, I carried 3 thermite grenades in my bag, because if I was cutting somebody out of an aircraft, the last thing I did is I would physically destroy that aircraft with a thermite grenade so that our enemy couldn't get it. If I couldn't destroy it, it was our TTP to have our controller call in fires on that thing to blow it up to very little pieces. We do this all the time. It's not unheard of. This entire thing was saved by 3 special operations aircraft. They're called short takeoff and landing aircraft. They're like a CASA. They can take off from your backyard. They were saved by these 3, and there's videos of these aircraft bombing at like 100 feet, just getting to them. They shoved everybody on board. They cleared. They blew the aircraft in place. So I tell you, please go look at the other video to get the whole story. But what I would ask you, is it more reasonable to believe that the military plans for everything. We have plans that we're going to dust off that we can make happen right away, that we're flexible enough to change certain things about that plan, that we have special operations forces that are trained the best in the world. The people that did this were from looking at the RSVPs for this mission. It was every single tier 1 unit with the Air Force taking lead because we're the DOW's preference for personnel recovery and high risk rescue. You're telling me that the men weren't good enough, our planning wasn't good enough, our equipment wasn't good enough, and this was a psyop in order to cover up a fake nuclear recovery mission? I can tell you, I knew
that Iran never. For me, Aaron, the big thing for me was like, I tried to explain to my audience. I'm like, you don't think Iran would have blasted this to the world?
Oh,
that they
yeah, for sure.
That they
There's no
shut
doubt.
down.
There's no doubt.
They shut down a JSOC operation
There's
to
no
take
doubt.
out their uranium, and they stopped it.
Yeah.
And
they would have
were
been
just like,
sending
nah,
imagery. They would have been sending bullet holes, imagery. Everything.
Iran is kind of like the PR goats, guys.
Yeah.
We know that with the Lego.
Yeah,
like,
Lego
amazing
Wars.
at this.
Lego Wars.
And Iran just decided, just for like the most amazing PR thing they could ever do, that they were just like, no, we're not going to talk.
Aaron, but let me ask you on a personal level, like what's going through your mind for something at this level with PR? And I mean, it's like, different for when you're an assaulter, right? You're in an assault team, hunter killer team, whatever. Different thing you're thinking of. You got to do that job, the assault job, and you're doing a whole nother bunch of competencies too. What's going through your mind on all this?
Fuck it, send us. I said it on Fox News, brother. PJs are a different breed. It's not that we're better. It's that every single person there, and we have a wide range of people that are pararescuemen. There's some people that are like, they just want to get in and do medicine and help people. We really have like soft tooth, sort of like leaf eater sort of dudes that are like, by day, they're like hippies and stuff. They just want to climb and shoot, and it's cool, but they're like, ew, warfare icky kind of stuff. Like, we have those dudes, and we have absolute savages that just want to kill people, and then like saving people is a benefit. I'll tell you what, when everybody gets together is when a single American serviceman is about to be set in fire on a cage like they did to the Jordanian pilot in 2013 on CNN.
That's nuts,
you can't stop these motherfuckers.
Wow.
We're telling them, send us right fucking now.
Dude, Aaron, I think maybe like non-veterans, and soldiers don't really understand that. But I remember we had an operation in Khazaruzgan, Camp Anaconda, where Tim Kennedy said it was being overrun, was actually being overrun in 2018. Our partner force had been getting fucked up for like 2 weeks, tons of dead casualties. They couldn't get anybody out, and they asked us, they were like, hey, last minute, can you guys come in and try to basically sweep out the Taliban that were almost overrunning the base? And I remember for us, it was outside of the med rings, right? So we had to get like trauma surgeons pre-placed. We had to get like basically like presidential approval, like to manage the risk of going into an area that nobody had been in. And dude, I remember that came down, and our entire team, every single dude was like, absolutely, send us now. And that was for Afghan counterparts that were being overrun. That wasn't even for American soldiers. And every single one of us was like, send us right now. So
yeah,
I think
the very motto.
Like, now you think about an American soldier that is downed in a foreign area. I think everybody on this panel would be like, absolutely, send us immediately.
For sure.
You wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah. But I mean, the motto of the pararescue community is that others may live. We literally, in our motto, we are like, I will do everything that I can to include kill someone on my team to go get us back. That is what we train for 2 years. These guys spend their entire lives getting through the longest pipeline with the highest DOW attrition rate to do this one thing.
And I'll say something too, just to add a little credence to this for my own audience, everybody listening. My dive buddy in combat dive school, MCD, down in Panama City, before you guys, I think went to a different one, but I had a CCT was my dive buddy. And my class leader was a PJ, a crow, right? A crow officer, a combat rescue officer, which is an officer PJ, right? So everybody understands. This dude was down at Dam Neck, Dev Group, whatever we can say. But he, even there, the SEALs said he was the fastest finner at the team, right? At the command. And this dude was a savage mountain biker. I mean, honestly, he was more Marine-like than most Marines I knew. And this is my introduction to like Air Force Special Ops guys. I was like, my guy was a badass. We were great. Usually I could smoke people in finning. I was like, we were underwater. I'm like, damn, dude, I'm getting smoked right now. And then our class leader was a nut. Like, I remember him one time grabbed me. He's like, I had another force guy there, another force recon Marine there with me. And he's like, you got to square him away. I was like, where the frig am I? Kent Pendleton right now? Like, what's going on? But these guys, just so everybody knows, legitimately super ultra professional, badass. I was so impressed by your whole group, man. So just so people understand that.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, like, listen, man, just looking at this event, if you just zoom out, recovering the first pilot that punched out Dude 44 Alpha, that was in Iran with air. Like, people said that we could never fly in there because of IADS. You can't fly a fat C-130 and 2 slow 60s. My boys from New York did it. They got shot off target. Everybody took shrapnel. They still did it. Then the second pilot went down, that A-10 that went down in feet wet. They got that guy too. And it would have been, these 2 rescues would have been in the top 5 of all PJ rescues in history, which 3,000 saves in Vietnam, Hurricane Katrina, all these other things. Captain Phillips, the first guy to touch him, was a PJ. Black Hawk Down, the medic on the ground, Tim Wilkinson, won the Air Force Cross. He was a PJ. Scotty Fales, PJ. Jason Cunningham, Roberts Ridge, PJ. All of these heroes. This would have went down, just those 2 rescues alone from the initial event. Then they added the third one. And then this is probably new to your audience. I'll tell you straight up about, you remember the drone that picked up the Apache pilots? And they said, No, they didn't. The drone never got close to him because it was a drone. They couldn't pick him up. They couldn't climb up on it. So PJs hoisted in a mine-infested waters, picked them up, and brought those Apache boys back.
Wow.
Those were 4 rescues in the last 2 months.
I hadn't heard that at all.
I hadn't either.
100%.
Wow,
100%. And listen, it's a good psyop. We have drones that can pick pilots up. That's cool. Let the enemy believe that. CIA, Ghost Murmur, tight. Let the enemy believe that. Discombobulator, we can do something to make you throw up like we saw in Venezuela. Great. Let them believe that. But when the rubber meets the road, these PJs will literally sacrifice their lives to save somebody. And we just went 4 for 4. So suck it, nerds. Sucks to suck.
Yeah, damn it. That's what I was going to say right there. You took my line.
Aaron, I got a question for you.
What's up?
Why was all of tier 1 there? Because normally all of tier 1 doesn't work together, correct?
Because of the
Rescue,
well,
right?
so that's a
good
misnomer.
That's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a
Aaron,
misnomer.
you had told me about this before, but
yeah. So basically, I mean, honestly, just put yourself in that situation. Like when this thing popped off, if you think every swinging dick operator wasn't fighting to get on this mission to go get our boy back, you're wrong. It was still led by the Air Force. For those of you out there, the Air Force has a tier 1 unit. It's called the AFSOC, Geographically Separated Unit. Since that unit stood up, we have had a PJ on every single green and blue, if you're allowed to call them that anymore. Every Army and every Navy team. PJs and combat controllers work, live, eat, breathe, deploy with those guys on rotation in perpetuity.
we had them attached. I had them attached to my ODA.
And Aaron, when you said that right now, there's, some group in Iran, like he just turned the TV. He's like, boss, we found them. We know who they are now.
Yeah, right.
He revealed it to us. Good job.
Yeah.
Good work.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, just take a step back and take yourself out of conspiratorial range and pretend you're a special operator at the top of his game. Are you not trying to get on that helicopter? Are you not trying to get on that C-130?
I was trying to get on. They didn't let me on.
Brother?
Yeah. I think, and we talked about that before the show, and I'm like, we are just kind of in, and I 100% understand it, and like why people immediately are like, bullshit. Obviously, this is a cover up. It's a psyop. It's a conspiracy. I get it, because we are in an environment with the Epstein files, like with so many different things, the Charlie Kirk assassination, where people are just, we don't believe the government. We don't believe a fucking word.
Right.
And I don't think any of us do. We don't believe a fucking word that comes out of our own government. So when our own government tells us this amazing, harrowing story that PJs went in and recovered a down pilot, of course, people immediately are like, nah, dude, nope.
Let me just frame it like this.
I 100% understand where that sentiment comes from, because, why would it not? It just feels like a big propaganda, pro-America thing. But at the same time, like, also, it's not that crazy of a story when Aaron shows you, like, oh, yeah, actually, here's us loading little birds on an MC-130 in a training exercise years before,
Let me break it down like this. Hey, everybody in the chat, I'm going to pitch you a movie. On Good Friday, a highly religious man that's been in the Air Force for 20 years, a full bird colonel, lands, and the first thing that he hits on his radio is, God is good, enemy 3K to the north, I'm moving. For 2 days, everybody was assumed that he was dead. We didn't know where he was. We couldn't find him. Then on Easter morning, literal angels, people that have this tattoo that's the mark of our career field, show up, and he came out of a rocky outcropping alive, and he was resurrected on Easter Day. Would you believe that's
bullshit? Doesn't get any better.
Yeah, no way.
That's not helping our case. Script. That's not helping our case now. That's hurting us.
I wouldn't believe it.
But I want to say this too. People don't realize until you've been around it and you've seen what our military can do. Like, you know, it is nuts. But I mean, especially special operations forces at this level, the tip of the tip, the best of the best people and assets and everything. I mean, it is honestly, it's so impressive, and it's you know, it sets you back. It's humbling. You're like, oh my God, I can't even believe this. So
I just think
real.
it's awesome that we're not going to have to wait 11 years to get a good movie out of it. Like we'll be able to go to the movie, and Aaron will be at the premiere, so maybe we.
Well,
can sneak in with Aaron.
Aaron's going to be playing the main guy. He's going to be running.
No.
Yeah,
hey, you know
actually,
what?
that would be great.
We'll be his
hey, I'm out of work,
PSD.
Aaron. I'm out of work. I need a role. So does Jake. Just put the good work in word and for
I'm gonna
us.
have
Ready.
Ben play me because he's better looking. That's what I'm gonna do.
Jake, you could be the bad guy. You come in. I'm gonna kill him.
I'm all in the bad guy, man.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite stories.
Ben, hold on. We're gonna make the Jewish guy the bad guy of the movie. Really?
Wow,
That's where you're gonna go immediately. 2026. You had to make the Jewish guy the antagonist. Is that what we're doing?
I know it's messed up. What am I doing? Wait, real quick, totally out of left field, but hey, Jake, tell us a time when Clint Eastwood wanted you to play like that bad guy in that movie, and he's like the biggest psycho. Go ahead, Aaron. It's total tangent,
pause.
but
Guys, I got 2 toddlers and a wife that's fighting in the trenches. I hate to drop this bomb to leave you guys go with it. I do have a hard.
You're good, brother.
Hey, Aaron,
We've been going for
thank
2 hours.
I want to say thank you for that fire ass like description, and then I just want to say thank you for the inside information because it's good to know what happened.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah. I know my audience was excited about it.
I love the pararescue community, man. I can't talk about how well they've done. You have guys that train for 2 years and give up their whole lives with the expectation that they're going to go on a suicide mission, and we still have people that say, send me. I can't believe that we do that. I can't believe how we find these people. I can't believe that people like that still exist, but they do. And it's really the most righteous mission set inside of the entire American military, but it speaks to who we are as Americans. We will glass your entire country. We will kill our own planes, and we will risk our own lives knowing we might die to get one person. That's why we're different than everybody else in the world. And that's what pararescue is. If you want to learn about pararescue, come over to onesready.com. You can go over and check me out over at Aaron Loves America. I love y'all.
And the pinned comment is Aaron's channel right here. So make sure you guys go subscribe and follow.
I'm going to send my son to one of your camps, Aaron. I already told him. I said, you're going there. You're going to learn. You're going to get
August 13 and 14, San Diego, September 12 and 13 in Pennsylvania. And then we're looking at another one out here in Vegas. You hit me up. He comes for free. I love y'all. I'm going to go take care of these kids.
Hey, man.
Change diapers, my dude. Change diapers.
See you, brother.
It's my life.
See you, brother.
All right, I think we were going to get into advice and things like that, but I mean, this took us over 2 hours already. Do we want to just hit super chats, and we can just? I mean, honestly, kind of feel like we should make this like revamp this and make this like a new weekly sentiment now that we're back to it.
Yeah,
we got
man.
a war going on. We kind of got all
Sounds
this stuff
perfect.
going on. We should, I know my audience is stoked about this one, but for then we don't have to. Spend 5 hours on the stream tonight. This one, the war stuff went 2 hours. Do we want to just hit super chats and we can that
works
head
for me.
out after that?
You've been going long on Fridays, correct?
My Friday shows usually around like 2.5, 3 hours. So that's like the average. My Tuesday show can be around 4 hours because it's like a weekly current events, politics, and then
Fridays for me are normally like close to around 3 hours.
So, I know Ben's is long. Ben's is long on
Fridays. We go bonkers on there though too. It's a good time.
and Ben has sound effects. I got
sound effects, man.
Oh, Ben, I don't even have a sound effect.
Nate, you should have seen when Bobby was rolling. Bobby, we love you, man. And when Bobby was rolling and I started playing this country music and he's like, man, son of a bitch. He's yelling at me.
Ben's shit is like a fest, like a rave. I know you know about raves, Nate.
Hell
That's
yeah.
how Ben's
Nate knows it's a DJ.
Yeah, well,
it's
I used
crazy.
to. Yeah, it's been years.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do it.
Let's all right, let's run through some questions here. I know
I still don't know how to do that. I got to figure out how you bring these things up on the board.
So if you look, StreamYard's really cool. We can all see this. So if you go to on the right side, you see where it says live and you see where it says starred on your comment section there. With everybody off to the right of us.
Okay.
To the right, we don't have it.
We don't have the studio scene.
Can you see comments?
Oh, I see starred. Yes, I see it. I see
here we go.
Starred,
Okay, got
like
it.
That.
Yep.
You see how you see now all the super chats lined up?
Yep.
This is why this is one of the reasons why StreamYard is awesome. Is it logs all of your
super fancy.
Every super chat is logged, and this is across. So all of these super chats are across all of our channels, and they're all in one place. Nice. So this is why StreamYard's really cool for like collaborative work.
Okay.
Is that like all of our audience can like be here, and all of our audience, like when I pull this up here, all of our audiences can see everybody's comments and everybody's super chats.
I have a
So
super
that
chat
way-
question for you guys. Are you guys streaming in 4K, both of you right now, or no?
I usually do 1080p.
Me too. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's 4K is.
It's
I
too
don't know.
much. You get messed up. You don't know what
I
you
don't-
said? Because
I
Nate,
don't know.
Nate taught me the ways of the force before with the cable. I got all my stuff.
Yeah,
And then I started doing it. And then it was like always like, I'd freeze. And
I know this.
4K,
I'm
4K
I'm
is
rolling-
like 4K is more your internet. You know what I mean? You have
Okay.
to have like crazy fiber optic. To,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
really
yeah.
push the
I'm
limits of
running.
it.
I'm running 8G. I'm on
Yeah,
8G.
so well, you're the clearest out of the three of us, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. All right, let's do this. Let's hit our questions here. Don says, VFT, I sent you Instagram messages last night. I sent an indecipherable super chat, then I sent a super chat in brevity unread. Sorry about that last night. Directly related on tonight's topic. Fact checked, share, no credit. Well, look, brother, last night I was streaming with my buddy JD Delay, and you guys were putting in super chats faster than we could read them. And after it was like 1 a.m. We had to sometimes we have
that's
to
a
call
long
it,
stream, brother. You are holy
So-
crap.
Hey, him and JD.
But we
rolling.
appreciate it, man. Yeah, we
Yeah.
appreciate it. But sometimes, guys, it's like you guys are so generous. I can't keep up. Didi says, bring up Lioness finale ending and how it's very reminiscent of the Ron rescue. Much love to the community. Lioness finale ending? Is that a show? Have you guys
The
seen
last
I didn't see
Lioness.
it. Yeah, I didn't see it.
The
Taylor
last Lioness?
Sheridan. It's CIA, or it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I haven't seen it yet.
It was a big rescue.
The Lioness program was a real program, though, too, if you guys remember
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. What's the context to it? Like
It's a Taylor Sheridan
like
show.
a hostage
Everybody
rescue?
dies. No, they were rescuing some people. I don't remember exactly, but it was a big rescue.
The Lioness program was like females getting on like these not like special ops teams, but teams that where they'd go and into the homes, interact with the people, and do missions and raids and stuff. They'd be a part of the team. So I don't know if you remember at one point, like probably both in Afghanistan and Iraq, they'd have like females with the teams to go and do things. So not always.
We talked
Okay.
about that, Nate. We were talking about the CAC teams, the cultural awareness teams.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Okay. Oh, yeah. Cultural awareness teams. Yeah, we had those.
Mhm.
I had those. Okay. Yeah, we had some of the.
we
those
talked
girls
about how
attached to us.
valuable they were to the team.
They're awesome,
right?
man. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
talked about. Me and Jake have talked about that, like women in special operations and combat roles. So that's another topic.
And then
for
a little
different
bit of
day,
the drama that they cause.
but- yeah, there's that definitely can happen. Rubes, hey Rubes, good to see you. It says y'all have brought us Christmas in July with tonight's episode.
Hey, thanks, Ruby.
Grand Bear, one of my longest supporters of the channel right here, says, yo, this is like rock super group right here. I gotta work, but I'll be listening. Love you guys. No homo, soft super group. I mean, Grand Bear was back around in the war room days, man.
Yeah. He's over in my streams quite a bit too. Appreciate it, Garen Bear. How are you saying it? Grand Bear.
All right. Grand Bear. Mark says, did you see Trump is going to have premium True Social memberships? Subscribers see his market moving tweets
That's
before anyone
hilarious.
else. I honestly, if I was into trading, I probably would sign up for this.
That's nuts, actually. That's a whole nother live stream to talk about. Wow. I
His
didn't know
his
that.
financials are
Wow. Yeah.
they get
Yeah.
a little wild.
That is wild.
Okay. Slide says we dropped more ordnance on Vietnam than all bombs dropped in World War I, World War II, and we still lost. Can't bomb Iran forever. We will deplete our stockpiles for the upcoming Pacific conflict. That's an interesting one. I see people talk about that. Ben, strategically,
Let me give you a
running our munitions out. I think the Pentagon was saying it's
They-
going to take us till 2031 to replace everything that we've used so far.
Hang on, I got one for you. I just
Yeah.
read it today. Okay, we are supposed to be making, I believe it's 200,000 rounds a month of 155 shells,
Yeah.
and we have a whole plant that hasn't made a single shell, and we're only making like 20,000 rounds a month, and they're like, oh, we're massively behind. And I just say this: we built B-17s in a car factory during World War II. We will fix whatever
Yeah,
problems
to your
have.
point, yeah, earlier when I was saying how the Ready Reserve Surge fleet is messed up right now, you're right. I mean, we'll find a way. We always do. And someone's always wanting to make money. There's some entrepreneurs like, I can do it. Watch this. Hey, Nate, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, brother.
We dropped some memberships, but that's
Very
all right.
kind of you. Very kind of you. Appreciate you, man.
This is somebody came. Oh, when you guys, so if you're looking over at, you see in the starred section as you're following along, if you see a little dash, this is typically, I think you guys will see a dash on your own if your audience leaves them to you. So I think this is for, I can't tell who it's for, but it's one for one of the three of you guys.
I got my phone running over here too.
So, all right. Mark says, do you see Trump? Oh, we did this one already.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your guys' takes on the capture of Maduro? Okay. You want me to give mine real quick?
Yeah.
I think from a military operation standpoint, it was like one of the most badass things the American military has ever facilitated. Do I approve it strategically? I don't know. I'm not a really big fan of us like kidnapping some foreign nation's leader for no reason other than like, it sounds like maybe the reason why he kidnapped him is to get to Maduro to say that the 2020 election was stolen by Venezuela, and then he's going to pardon him for saying that. There's a lot of like weird stuff going on with that, but like militarily, it was badass. As for like strategically, I don't know. It seemed fucking whatever, but I don't know. Your guys' thoughts?
I'm pretty much right on board with Nate on that. I mean, I think, you know, it's hard for me to be like, yes, I'm all for it. I like it. I mean, it was a militarily unbelievable, amazing. I think we got out with the skin of our teeth with this warrant officer who landed his helicopter and was able to fly away. Can you imagine if we lost a whole plane full of assaulters?
It would have been that would have been it, dude. People would have been like
when the Dev Group guys got shot down, right? The SEALs got shot down. I mean, that would have been it. It would have been nuts. So we got very lucky there. And yes, there was a lot of badassness, totally. But there was some, you know, some luck plays, as Clausewitz says, you know, chance has to do with war as well, too. So, yeah, that's it.
Jake?
Savage. That's all I'm going to say. Savage.
Like military-wise, that was insane that we did
savage.
That. Insane. We literally just flew in and kidnapped the president of a country.
The best part was he was talking mad shit.
Yeah, totally.
Like just mad shit.
Yeah, you're right, Jake.
And we went and snatched him out of his bed.
Yeah. And
he couldn't even get to his little safe room. It's like right across the like right next to the bed.
Yeah, savage. You're right,
like
man.
It's fucking savage. Like,
dude, have you ever seen the Tom Clancy Jack Ryan series that's in Venezuela? They depict Maduro as being such a scumbag that after I saw it, I was like, whoa, man. I mean, like, you know, I didn't know that much about him, but I got a friend of mine who's the founder of DMV Iron. Great gym, best gym around the Washington, D.C. area. Go to DMV Iron if you can. One of the best gyms in the country. Jay Cutler's like out there all the time. But Leo used to be from Venezuela, and he was telling me, he's like, you don't understand how bad they are. Like, it's every bit as bad. This is before any of it happened. He was telling me like
anybody's pretending like Maduro was a good guy.
Right.
Like,
no.
You know what I mean? Or like, yeah, I don't think anybody, but for me, it was just kind of like, okay, but where do we draw the line on whose country's leader we're going to kidnap?
You're right.
You know,
you're
it's like,
you're right.
Is this really valuable? But I also think it gave Trump a false sense of confidence leading into Iran, that he was going to like, look what we just did in Venezuela. Like, I look so badass. And then part of, I think, why he decided to do Iran was it was going to be this in and out. We get the Ayatollah gets killed. We overthrow everything. And then all of a sudden we get our dicks in a bear trap. You know what I mean? So I think that was kind of the negative side of that was it did give him some false confidence. I think.
Absolutely. No doubt.
Related to Charlie Kirk, I hit a deer with a 7mm Magnum using a 162 grain round at 480 yards. It hit the thoracic spine and blew through. You need to meet test 223 at 300 yards. That is our next test. We are going to test 223 rounds at about 300 yards because they found a 223 round on the roof directly in line of the building behind where Charlie was shot from, which is like
so Bobby was on here.
Bobby's got some wild stuff.
Bobby was blowing us up. Bobby has a video of the bullet coming from behind Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, that's been a big one too. A lot of people are on board with that too, because I mean the wound does not look like an entrance wound. I mean, not even with the 30-06. Have you guys seen my new ballistics test I did?
No, not yet.
So I did a brand new ballistics test. I put it out yesterday because we'd done an initial ballistic test, but we didn't know. All we knew was a 30-06. We didn't know the distance, the slope. We didn't know what type of round, right? Was it full metal jacket, soft point, frangible, varmint? We had no idea. But now through the trial, we know the exact distance, slope, angle, the exact rounds used, everything. So we recreated the shot. I mean, my buddy Brian, we had a massive the things that like he owns all the farmland for as far as you can see, like the basket that they raise up that you can like fix power lines with, you know. So we raised them up there with the 30-06. Cherry picker, yeah, that's right. So like put them all the way up, went to 141 yards, 9-degree slope from the cherry picker, exact same ammunition, and we got a brand new 300-pound hog just killed an hour before. So like fresh, right? So the closest recreation we could do, and we hit him in the actual neck and the spine, and then in the low back as well, just to like test as ridiculous as we could get. And when you watch the results of that, you're like, okay.
I'm so far behind on the whole Charlie Kirk thing.
It blew the entire, like the entrance wound is tiny, right? Like even a 30-06 entrance wound on the back of the pig, it's like a little bee sting. And then you actually see we pull it open and show the neck. I mean, it's shattered the entire spine in half and ripped 5 inches on each side of the rib cage open.
And not to restart this whole thing, because I know you've been doing this Charlie Kirk for a long time, but like, is the going theory you have right now that it's not what they said? That's what happened?
I can't believe that now that we know that it was a 30-06 from, you know, when you think about 30-06, that's bigger than anything we shoot in the military. It's fucking massive. I mean, this is a round. It's just absolutely massive round. The idea that at a human neck, right, at 141 yards, not only stopped that round, no exit wound, but didn't track. Like I had Chuck Ritter on the show, and because he got shot in the spine with an AK-47, no exit wound, but it tracked down his spine like 40 inches and lodged in his ass. You know what I mean? So like bullets do weird things, but a 30-06 round hitting a human being in the neck and only traveling 3 inches, no exit wound and stopping. It's like the odds of that statistically are like hitting the Powerball. So it's hard for me to believe that narrative because I've literally gone out and tested it ballistically. And I mean, our final test, we took a brand new butchered steer, so neck vertebrae, like the neck vertebrae on this cow is like, you know, 4 inches deep, probably like 10 inches circumference. We then wrapped 10 inches of sheep meat and shoulder blade to the cow vertebrae. It was as wide as me, all dense, just butchered today animal bone, plus all that meat. And I did that test as the final test to show what it would take to stop this round. That was the entire point. I was like, this is like a good demonstration of what you would need to actually stop this round. It blew through the entire thing. It ripped the entire sheep shoulder blade and pout through the sheep shoulder blade 10 inch, and then also through that cow neck vertebrae, and it shattered the entire thing in half. So it's a tough sell. It's a tough sell for me, guys, you know. Buff donates.
All right, Buff. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, Buff.
5 for a one's ready. 5 for Jake Zweig. 5 for me. Thank you, Buff.
Thank y'all. Thank you, Buff. Thank you,
Buff.
Didi says, if we stop recreating the wars we currently are fighting, then I would agree. But glassing a country that we created the situation is not the way.
I agree. I mean, hey, I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't know if you've seen some of these Iranian women, but they're bad. Bad women. I went to school with a couple of them in Michigan. I was like, they are bad. So
Persian
let's
women.
not glass.
Not wrong.
You know what I'm saying? Let's keep the gene pool good. All right.
Didn't see that one coming.
That was a good pivot for that one, Jake. Good point. The most battle-hardened army in the world right now with combat experience in modern conflict is the Ukrainian army. Hard to believe. And the Russian. Don't discount the other side that's fighting against them. I do agree with you right now. The Ukraine and Russia's military, I would not want to go and fight either of those countries right now. If we had to, with the amount of combat experience those guys have gotten, a peer-to-peer war with the drone war and everything they're dealing with.
You know what's wild too is they do things, especially like you're saying, the Russians, that we're not willing to do, and Ukrainians apparently now as well. But I got a guest on Wednesday, talks about, he was going over there quite a bit to Ukraine, doing work and stuff like that, former Marine officer, and Russian intelligence sniffed him out, and like they did like a little mock hit on him. Remember the old spray attacks they used to do with cyanide spray and kill people?
Oh yeah.
Came in the elevator, looked at him and his wife, and they faced around, looking at him, smiling at him. The door opens for his floor. They like pulls out aerosol thing, goes right in his face, a little spray bottle right in their faces, and leaves, letting them know I can hit you anytime you want. And they were like, "What?" And like,
wait, where were they at? Where were they at, man?
In Warsaw, Poland. Just came out of Ukraine.
Yep.
And
just as like we know who the fuck
yes,
you are.
yeah. And then
Like,
another
take
Marine
your ass
officer,
back to
general.
America and be quiet.
Yeah.
So you know the whole Lindsey
whoa.
Graham thing. We talked about it. And I was like, what do
Yeah.
you think? He's like, foul play. And he talked about the general, retired Marine general that was with him doing the stuff, came back just like Graham, coming back from Ukraine, died. 2 days later, they put out a state media post in Russia saying he was killed on the front of Ukraine by a Russian mortar attack. That's their way of saying we got him. Crazy stuff, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, yeah.
No, thank you.
No, 100%. Letting you know we could do it anytime.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it. You know?
Wow. If we take Iran, will Turkey be next? Great team. Well, we got a linchpin. We got to get out of NATO first. You know what I mean? And as long as we're in NATO, it's not going to happen. I do know they want us to, and there's talk about it, but we're also like about to give Turkey F-35s. So we're not doing a very good job of like decoupling.
Yeah. I think Turkey's a better partner than going to war with them for sure. It's better to have as an ally.
They have the strongest military in Europe and the Middle East by far.
Right,
so
right.
that's like if we think Iran is a problem, we want to go up against Turkey.
No.
Maybe not.
And Turkey's got great food over there too. Istanbul's pretty wild. Good place.
Thank you for your service. Thank you, Megan. Remember Colin Powell's UN speech? Yeah. Buff says DJ Benny versus DJ Nate. Ice needs to happen.
I think his kung fu is stronger. Mine is only Gemini songs that I play because YouTube is like shutting me down. It's playing like real songs. They're like, you're about to be shut down.
You can't do that.
So I've got like all these Gemini songs.
U.S. government using gender operations to activate ASD. I don't know what any.
I don't know what that is either.
I don't either.
Any Iranian leader whose movement patterns were more predictable than elementary school obviously wasn't trying very hard. Anyway, just thought Omar former SF medic 7th group in the 80s. Well, happy oppressive Lee Bear to you, brother. Hell yeah. Thank you very much. Very, very generous. This is for one of you guys from Marubes. I don't know who. I don't know. Can you guys see? It should show a dash. Could be for Aaron too.
Gotta be for it's a female. Got to be for Ben.
Yeah, that's
Hey, I appreciate it, Ruby. I don't know if it's for me, but I appreciate it either way. But we're gonna try and do it more often for sure.
I think we should. I mean, it would be. I do. You know, when I cover the military stuff and the war, it's okay coming from me. But I mean, we have such a massive group of experience between all of us here that, especially now that it looks like this is going to probably be a protracted war, as far as I can see, that I think we should definitely kick it back off and make it a regular thing. We'll figure that out in the backside. Wings of Shoe says, what's the reason for bombing a children's cancer hospital or school, elementary school and university? If Iran hit our hospitals, we would call it terrorism. Well, the little girls' elementary school that we hit with 2 Tomahawk missiles, we do know that did happen. I think it's gross, but at the same time, I don't know if we were fed that intel from a specific someone, if this was a Claude AI thing that they did. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of it's horrible though.
I don't think it was intentional. Not intentional. I don't think. I mean, I would
whether
bet,
it was or
wasn't.
I mean, it's horrible, right? Like anybody who tries to say this is a good thing that we killed 200 little girls, it's not. You know, fog of war, unfortunately, is a thing. But I don't know. I don't know what went into the process of that target. It definitely didn't do us any favors. It made the entire world sort of hate America for that. So to Ben's point, I think it's most likely it was an accident, because you had to know PR wise for America, it was a disaster. So I don't know why we would do that intentionally, to your point, Ben.
Yeah, but I don't think so. I don't think we would.
But it happened. On the public buy-in, they didn't even buy us dinner this time before they effed us. That's what's different. No, they give us no reasons. Jasmine, what's up, Jasmine? Says, can you do a reunion with the boys once a month from now on? Would love to have this happen on a regular basis. Yeah, I mean, as long as the guys want to do it, then
hell yeah,
I'm
let's
all
do
about
it, man.
man.
Sounds great.
We'll do a better job of actually like announcing it and telling people when they happen on the next one. I just kind of threw it up on the channels, but you need to ask why Democrat Socialists winning, maybe because they platform on anti-regress ally, no new wars, free healthcare, actually America first. Well, I mean, here's the thing. We do know, we didn't talk about this, but Section 219, right? The United States trying to merge our military apparatuses with Israel I think it's treason, and it was all Democrats who voted against that. 100% of Republicans voted yes. So
That's
what do you guys think
crazy
about that?
stuff, man.
I mean, what are we doing, right?
You know, I don't
are
know.
we not a sovereign nation?
What are we doing?
And I don't even care that it's Israel. If this was I love Australia. It's my favorite country. If you told me like we were going to merge Australia's military, who I've worked with extensively, I would be like, fuck no. What are you talking about?
Strange, man. I don't know. All I know is Trump, he ran on no new wars too. So,
well, not doing well in that. Didi says, look at the state of the Republican Party. It's the Epstein Files Protection Party. It's pretty easy to understand. Yeah, they're both garbage right now, in my opinion.
So Katie, let me say something on that real quick. So I want everybody to understand the Epstein file goes across every fucking branch, and like don't think for a minute that the Republicans are like the only guys on that boat on that island.
Yeah.
You got Prince Andrews.
Yeah.
You got world leader. You got the whole world on that island. Okay. So
that definitely
Jake gave us a great story last Friday. Oh boy.
Yeah, the Epstein files, I think, like completely go beyond a political thing, right?
Yeah.
Like left, right. Like, no, we are way above that, to Jake's point, when we're talking about the involvement of that. Katie, what's up, Katie? Says, allegedly, Scott Jennings spoke for 20 plus minutes with Lindsey Graham on the phone. He's already started a conflict between Moloch and Ball down in you-know-where. It's wrapped up in about 2 weeks. Look, here's the thing. I've said it on my show before. I don't like disparaging the dead, but at the same time, I think Lindsey Graham is just a disgusting human being. Anybody that's advocating to, genocide little girls and kids and nuke people all the time, I'm sorry. Like, I just...
Hey, Nate,
I'm not going to pretend that I'm like mourning for that dude. I'm not.
You know how I like justify Lindsey Graham? He's got a girl's name. Every time he does something stupid, I'm like, it's Lindsey Graham. Like it's a chick. But I know he's a dude. But I'm just saying, that's how in my mind I just.
He's one of those guys. There's never what was the quote? He's never seen a war he doesn't support. You know what I mean? It's just at some point, there's just certain people that, that's my own personal opinion on it. I don't want to talk trash on the dead, but at the same time, I'm not going to pretend like I like the dude. Joe says, honest question. Buff brought this up. What's wrong with the trades, jobs, and military? If the economy won't hire 2, 4, even MBAs, why not something immediately necessary? You can always go back. Well, that's why I think all of us on the show, we do a lot of mentorship. All of us. My biggest thing for young men, I say, here is your choices. If you want to be successful, join the military. If you're not ready for that, go work construction. If you're not ready for that, go into the trades. That's it. Go to school later, get your MBA. I was 39 years old when I got my MBA. You can come back to that, but I don't know how you guys feel with young men. So one of those 3 routes, I think, will just set you up for life 1,000 times better than, going to, not that going to a 4-year college is bad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying personally in the current economic situation we're in, I just think that's a better route for young men.
So I'm looking at buying a commercial electrical company, you
told me about that.
And I'm looking at buying a service company, all of them in the same field, like plumbing, HVAC, electrical. And the next thing I'm going to talk to you about is Google is starting a university for the trades, and you're going to be able to sign up and get, I think it's 6 months of training. And then they're going to give you an apprenticeship inside of the Google data centers, because they don't have any way to keep up with the number of electricians and plumbers and HVAC techs that they need. But it's going to be like free source. Like if you need a job, sign up for that program, because you're going to be making $200,000 here in about 2 years. Like there's not enough. There's 100,000 electricians retiring a year, and they're only replacing them with about 20,000. The deficit is going to get to the point where electricians and plumbers and the trades are going to be making real money because they don't have enough of them to keep up with AI.
100%. 100%. We talked about this in my MBA program all the time. We had a radiologist come talk to us because like AI is big. And he was like, just so you guys know, don't go into radiology because I won't have a job 18 months from now. Why would I? I mean, AI can look at this, this MRI and do a 10 times better job than any human can, and he can do it in 4 seconds, and it costs $0 instead of paying a radiologist $500,000 a year. So
yeah,
I think but plumbing, right? Like, or someone's got to install your HVAC. They've got to install your electrical. They got to install your plumbing. Like all of these things. I think like high skill blue collar work is the gold rush, like the next 10-year gold rush, especially to Jake's point. If you own
gold rush,
own the businesses for that, that's like the real gold rush. Right?
That's 100%. I think the biggest thing is no matter what you do, you got to have a vision. You got to have a vision of what it is you want to do. And if you want to start your own company, you want to build a business, you want to go in the military, whatever it is, you got to understand you're going to go through the hard knocks. You're going to go through the hard times. You have to push through fear. It ain't going to be easy no matter what you choose to be successful, because, there's no success without sacrifice. That's what I'll say. So there's no right answer here. Everything these guys are saying is 100% will work for you, but you got to be you too. And I'll tell you one thing, if you hate what you're doing, you're not interested, you're not passionate about it. I wouldn't tell you merely to follow your passions. I would say have a strategy and a vision. And then when you get good at something, you often get passionate about as well. So find something you're interested in, you're curious about, though. Something that can, you can really dive into, you're willing to work hard for. Because if you're not willing to work hard, just forget it. It's not going to happen.
Yep, that's a great point. Yeah, it's not going to matter if you pick the best job ever. If you're not passionate about it, it's not going to happen. Amar Musa says the goal is to turn the U.S. bankrupt into a bankrupt failed state, and the Middle East into a depopulated Mad Max dystopia. Our greatest ally assumes the throne. They don't need our arms and legs anymore. Robotic warfare is almost ready. I mean, robotic warfare is already here, though. Like, what do you think that Predator drone is? That's a robot in the sky powered by AI systems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what I've been saying too? I said, in my audience a couple times, my live, I just said, if Elon Musk has got 100, 200, 300 Optimus robots are ready to rock and roll, we can send those in and forget about body bags going home. This is a game changer. I mean,
I say this all the time. I say, once you can put like a Chat GPT brain inside of a high functioning Optimus robot, we're cooked.
Dude. Cooked, man. Stuff.
We're so cooked. Yeah. I mean, did you guys see China, the robot dogs doing CQB?
Yeah.
The gun attached to the back of the dog is the point man.
It's crazy stuff, man.
Bro. Could you imagine trying to do CQB against a robot dog?
Yeah. 500-pound bomb, 2,000-pound bomb.
But the enemy's got robot dogs, which means they probably have 500-pound bombs.
They're just printing them. They're printing them off.
I'm not arguing that either. Like,
God, dude.
There's a reason Terminator is kind of scary, right? The movie,
no, dude. How prophetic was that movie?
It's insane when you really think about it now. James Cameron, right? Was that James Cameron too?
Yeah, but I mean, the 80s AI didn't exist. That wasn't a technology that existed. That
was like white paper,
dystopian future white paper, and then all of a sudden, 2026, we're like, oh, this is 100% something that could happen. Like,
I mean,
the technology's there, like it exists. It's creepy.
Yeah, it is creepy.
America needs to bring back the federal jobs guarantee. It currently takes 4 full-time minimum wage salaries to rent a 1-bedroom apartment. The federal jobs guarantee. What's a federal? Is this like a FDR program? I'm not.
Yeah, I think that's FDR building freeways and all that stuff, I believe.
That's crazy stuff. The point being here, and we covered it last Friday, Jake, was the American dream, and Jake and Bobby did a good job of addressing it too. But $400,000 average home price most people can't afford, and it's tough, man. It's tough, but there are ways. Don't give up on those dreams and on what you got to do. There are ways to do it. But what you're saying here is spot on. That's right. But don't give up on it. Keep getting after it. Find a way.
Yeah. Bobby says the U.S. Navy trained me and gave me the tools and knowledge to be very successful in the oil and gas industry. I currently teach our younger employees and will retire 5 years from now. Yeah, Bobby's been one of the best sources of knowledge for the oil industry, given all this stuff that I've had on the channel.
That's awesome. So, congrats, man.
But I was just gonna say this before Bobby left this comment. I was like, dude, I joined the military, dropped out of college, like not in a good way. Not like I'm going to do something great. Not like not like the Mark Zuckerberg, I'm starting a business type of dropout, like dropped out and they kicked me out of college. I think I had $400 in my checking account when I joined the military. And I mean, it changed my entire life. You know,
It's a great story, man. Dude, you're a ball player too, right? Baseball or football?
Yeah. Baseball
and cheerleader
and cheerleading. Both.
Cheerleader. Don't let him kid you. He was a
Smart
cheerleader.
man.
In college. But my point is, I was Division I athlete, and I flunked out, and so the military saved my entire life, guys. So like to Ben's point, don't think that there aren't avenues as long as you're willing to work hard.
Yeah,
you can make it. All right. In my opinion, Iran doesn't need a nuclear weapon. They've already won the war by blocking the strait, as long as they can keep it closed. We talked about that earlier. We don't know for sure.
Yeah, I think 800-pound gorilla is about to be unleashed. That's what I think.
I do think it'll be interesting if the United States finds a way to actually keep the Strait of Hormuz open while leveraging the war. It's going to change everything.
Yeah.
Will we be able to do that? I don't know. It's going to be hard to stop those, Shahed drones coming out of the mountains out of nowhere, but hitting oil tankers. But
the problem is, Nate, we can't. The Straits of Hormuz, keeping it open is different than keeping the oil flowing through it.
Yeah, that's a good
We
point.
can't escort enough ships through the Straits of Hormuz.
But also, it's the insurance on them.
So that's the whole thing that's killing
them. Insure them right now, Ben.
Right now, Lloyd's of London, like that's the whole problem. Like that's why the ships aren't going through the strait. It's not because they're worried about the missiles. They ain't got no insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That too.
Yep. Rubes says, "Hey, Aaron, this one's for Aaron."
Ruby's superstar today.
Yeah. Hey, Rubes, we got to send Aaron a shot because he beat Ben on an awesome female. I just got to send Aaron a shot. Not normal.
It's rare. It's rare around here.
Rare.
Yeah, I can't be doing content with you guys. That's the problem. You guys are too good looking. You and Aaron and everybody make me. I gotta rethink this. All right. Hello to all. You think, Nate, that the second bullet was where the actual sniper was that took it out, Lance? Because we all know it wasn't Tyler. So this is the same question that's that 223 round they found on the roof, one building. Which again, why is there a 223 rifle round on the building right next to where the shooter took the shot from? Pretty bizarre.
No kidding.
Is it right next to, or was it behind?
Directly in line with. So if you actually take like, let's say if we do this, right? You have Charlie Kirk here. Yeah. Right. You come here. Here's the shooter. You take it back the next building, and then 2 floors up in the exact direct line of sight where the actual shot came from is where that 223 round was found. About 100 meters back, 2 levels up, 1 building back from where we know the shooter was. It wasn't like they randomly found it across campus. No, they found it 1 building back, 2 stories up on the roof. And so,
but then I would say nobody in our profession that would make that shot reliably would leave that shell cartridge.
Well, but do you want to hear the reason why the lead investigator to the case that he said the reason why, and I'll get your guys' take. I said this bullshit. The reason why that round was found up there is because a police officer was up there on that building and decided to clear his weapon and decided to just leave the round on the roof. A police officer. That's the official.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's the official reason from law enforcement why that round was up there. And I immediately was like, okay, well, I train sheriff's departments and SWAT teams here in my actual day job. And what I can promise you is that there's huge problems with that. One, the idea we know coming from, could you imagine this, Ben, if you were out on a target and training in a urban area and you just threw your rounds on the ground, you're like, now we're good.
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, never.
For law enforcement, it's even a bigger deal because
they have accountability, right?
Accountability. These are military or law enforcement and issued rounds, and he's got his fingerprints on them and his DNA and he just left them on the roof for somebody to come by. Is that like, let's not say it's just the roof, but anywhere somebody comes by, finds that, they throw it in their gun, they go commit a murder. Right. You know who committed that murder ballistically? That cop. That's so the idea that cops are just like, clear it. Yeah, fuck it. I'll just leave this on the roof. But that's the official reasoning from law enforcement.
They actually factually found this. They found that up there.
Yes, the defense.
Crazy, man.
The defense asked the lead investigator. This is during the trial. And he goes, "Are you going to tell us about the other round that was found on the roof?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's a 223 round. We found it on the roof right behind the building." Well, the reason why is because one of the law enforcement officers, he cleared his weapon and he just left it up there.
That's nuts.
It's And I'm like, dude, that's not.
Is
dude.
this kid pleading guilty right now, or like what's going on?
No, he hasn't pled anything yet. We don't
Okay.
know because they hasn't. It hasn't. The pre-hearing was an evidence hearing to decide if it would go to a real trial. So that's what they were basically doing, was providing all the evidence to the case. Then they'll decide September 1st, they'll reconvene, and the judge will decide if he's going to send it to a full trial, which he will. It's 100% chance it'll go to trial because it's like such a massive political event. But yeah, that's like the reasoning they're giving, that there was like a different rifle round, just found on the building next to it.
That is wacky. I had no idea. Yeah, I haven't been following it. Maybe I'll look into this more.
It's wild. But anyway, what we're gonna do is, in our next ballistic test, is we're gonna recreate what that shot would look like with a 223 round out of an AR-15 from that distance and slope. And if that, which would actually kind of make sense, of like, okay, at 300 yards, 223 round hitting a human in the neck from a steeper slope, the deflection of that hitting the spine could very easily create an exit wound and create the wound that we saw.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna text.
Interesting.
Next.
Interesting.
Just to see.
Yeah.
Y'all think Iran, I'm assuming you meant, would be put into effect Operation Samson? The Samson option. That's what we're talking about with. You guys know about the Samson option for our greatest ally?
Yeah. Just cover it again.
So Samson option, essentially, if Israel ever feels like they are legitimately going to be overrun or destroyed, they will essentially use their nuclear weapons to wipe out whoever they're fighting against. So to Ben's point, what if you're wrong and Iran decides, then yes, this comes into effect, and all of a sudden, we're in sort of nuclear Armageddon. So
yeah,
I did like, I haven't ever had that pushback before, Ben, on my thought process of like, but what if you're wrong?
Well, this was like me asking myself though. I was like, if I were sitting in the seat, right? Like if I was the one in charge, and you think, well, what if I'm wrong? That's just like if you combat operations, not to go on all this whole thing, but if you give a green light on a go order, you talk into your sniper team and you're like, prosecute the target, aka kill them. You better be right about who you're shooting, about what you're doing. When you blow doors in on a target, right, and everyone's going in, you want to make sure this is the right place. If not, someone's eating the breach. Might be little kids getting the good news, So
yeah, yep. All right. AJ says nukes exist, nuclear energy exists. You can create a reactor. You can use a CO2 laser or I don't know what that is, aluminum garnet lasers doped with AJ. I can't even say
big words, big words, big words.
Thank you, AJ.
AJ, love you, brother. AJ's one of my moderators. I have no idea what any of that means, AJ. So I'm not going to pretend. Not even going to pretend I know how to answer any of that. But thank you. Well, I'll trust you because it sounds like you know what you're talking about. Joe says North Korea and Iran threatening nukes to say Japan. It's like national level of street mogging. All they want is money and to power trip. Oh, North Korea. That's what Ben's point was earlier. Yeah.
100%, Joe. You're exactly right. 100%.
Oh shit, you ain't lying. Ben Netanyahu was in here.
I told you, friend of the show.
Shalom. Shalom.
BB is a big supporter of the channel. I know it's a little bit weird, but yeah, he's one of the biggest supporters on my channel.
We are up for speaking engagements, but Zoom call only. No in person over there.
So Benjamin Netanyahu, friend of the show, as I always like to say, Fidel Castro jested to Khrushchev that he should unleash the entire Soviet nuclear arsenal on America during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Not for nothing, but crazy MFs do exist. This is a great point. That is a great point.
Point.
Yeah, that they actually, I don't think people realize how close we actually were to nuclear Armageddon during the Cuban Missile Crisis. So
that's a great point.
And I'd like to say this: they tried to send SEALs in there without guns, and the SEALs wouldn't go.
Without guns?
Yeah.
Bay of Pigs. They sent the old Force Recon in Test Unit 1. Right. Some of those dudes, I met them before. Some wild cats. They got stuck on the beach. Bay of Pigs.
And nobody showed up to help.
Yeah.
I do know that story. That's crazy. Thank you, baby. Man and his dog says, hey, Nate, words do matter. Death to America, not translation. It's supposed to be out with America, but their dialect translates to English wrong. So Sheila's, I can't say that. It's Iranian or Persian. Or Farsi, would it be, right? Made a video on it. What is that? Potatoes? America first.
Orange.
Well, it's probably fruits, which means, Yeah.
But that's a great point, though. I wish someone would come out and say, "Look, that's not what we're saying. We're saying this."
Well, they do, but the thing is, Ben, they do that. Okay. Yeah. So the Ayatollah has actually very specifically said, and when he's actually described in front of their parliament, that he said, when we say death to America, we mean the American government, not the American people. The former Ayatollah. I don't know what the current. I don't know.
Now they've changed it. They're like, no, hold on.
Yeah.
We mean everybody and everything.
I don't know. After this, I'm not sure. It might just mean what they mean. But
I'm glad he put that in there, though. That's insightful. Very insightful.
I have seen that where he's described like we do mean death to America, but what we mean by that is the American government, not the American people.
Right.
Which is kind of fair, you know what I mean? I feel like we kind of feel that way about Iran too. We're like, we don't like the Ayatollah regime, but we don't have anything
it's not against the people.
Against the people. So it's kind of a fair way to look at it.
Yeah, for sure.
This is for one of you guys. Not sure who, but
I think that's on mine.
There you go.
You can send it over my way if you don't want. Just put it over here.
Super Lineman, thank you, brother. Love you.
Baby's Back says, it seems many American men will lose their lives in a pointless war for at least another century. The only benefit is our equipment will continue to be battle tested and our troops will sustain combat experience. So I know people get upset about me because I am very anti-war. I'm anti-interventionist in the Middle East, but I do also think that leaving Afghanistan was dumb as shit because it kind of was a real world training exercise for the American military. You know what I mean? It was very low risk. By the end of it, we were losing maybe one or two people a year at most, which like we lose more than that domestically in training exercises. And when you talk about it, I mean, the fact that, I was there in 2018 and do I feel like we were accomplishing anything strategically? Absolutely not. But were we getting insane amounts of experience both on the ground, everything, right? CCTs, PJs, infantry, aircraft, everything was getting that experience. So it also, leaving Afghanistan just felt like a terrible, just regionally, demographically. Could you imagine how much like different even this Iran war would be if we literally still had Afghanistan and like we could just march the American military straight through Helmand? Like, hey, motherfuckers, guess what? We have the entire American military. We have all the tanks and everything sitting on your border in Helmand right now. Right.
And even doing airbase hopping through that massive desert, we wouldn't want to drive through that desert, but if you have a massive buildup behind you, it's not as bad. I'll say one thing is interesting as you say that too. It's like when I was in Iraq in 2006, the last time, we were losing 100 people a month, man. It was nuts.
That's crazy,
it's a whole other ballgame. 2004, 2006, both about 100 people a month. And, that will make you think a little different. And I'll just say that, no doubt about it.
But that's kind of my point with it. Afghanistan by 2018, 2019, it was like one a year, and so at that point you're at like training levels. Not that this is a good thing, what we were doing. I'm not saying I support that. I'm just saying from a military perspective, combat experience is important.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
No doubt about it.
And
no doubt.
When you go 20 years with no combat experience, and then like, could you imagine 10 years from now if the Russia-Ukraine war continued to go and all of us had retired out and then America was like, we're jumping in and we send in the American like Marines and infantry to go fight the Russians or,
and they're buzzing drones around us, FPV drones everywhere. We're like, wait a second. We're learning things they learned 10 years before.
Exactly. We're going to get destroyed, not necessarily destroyed in the long run, but there would be such a steep learning curve.
For sure, man.
But that's a morally tough one. For you, one of you guys as well.
Hey, awesome.
Gotta be Ben Pappas.
I can't tell, man. I don't know how to tell, but thank you. I'll say thank you for all of us. And thank you very much.
Jazz dropped great shows tonight on all the.
Appreciate it, Jasmine.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Thank you, Jasmine's been around forever. She's been my head moderator since before the War Room days, man.
Yeah,
we obviously love Jazz.
Shout out to Jinx on my moderator. He's over there murdering my moderation.
Brian says, "Hi, I'm late. I was trying to carry around 50 grenades." Yeah, we didn't talk about Tim tonight. I'm not even getting into that.
No bueno.
No, Erica's next fireworks show. BB says he's going to pay me with a 30-06. Can you all start the show over, please? Yeah, no. There's a lot of good jokes here.
We can start it over. No.
I know so many people wanted me to jump in on the Tim Kennedy coverage, and I just told my audience.
What's funny though? When this all started, real quick, Jake. When it all started, I was so clueless in the war room what Tim Kennedy was. I was like new to that whole space, and you knew it, you know, and everybody else knew it. And I asked you, I go, why is he doing this? He's already like a badass. Why is he doing it? And you said, you made a really great statement. You go, CTE is real.
Yeah.
And I thought that explains a lot, man, because he's like, it's a little cuckoo. What's going on?
Hey, so
it's sad. It's sad, man. And that's why I'm not doing content on the dude. I'm not beating the dude up. It's like
I saw him fight. Was it Yale Romero? Like one of the most badass dudes on the planet. Like he beat him. I'm like,
no, that's controversial. He ended up losing to Yole,
but he should have won.
He should have won. It was like a stool gate or whatever.
Right. I mean, what else do you need after that? And your special forces. What else are you going to say?
I think that one ended his UFC career. But I mean, I just like at this point, I'm like, he ruined his whole life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Let me say this.
Jake.
Hang on.
Sorry,
let me say this. Okay, so you know Jamerson, Mr. Miyagi, coaching all of us. All right,
Mhm.
so. Jamerson last week wanted me to, like, I was going to do it like a professional Harvard Business School case on what not to do from a PR standpoint. And so he put out an hour podcast that if you guys haven't seen it, he started a new podcast. It quite
Jameson
possibly no. Tim
TK.
Kennedy did.
Oh, yeah.
But it quite possibly may be the worst PR piece of material in the history of mankind. But I didn't do it either because I was just like, you know what? I'm bumming. I'm bumming on YouTube. Okay. So I'm not really, I'm worried about buying shit and making real money and not sitting here messing with YouTube and shit. I'm trying to be like
star
Nate.
Material, dude. You keep being you, brother.
Wait till you see these. Hey, you see these videos I drop, bro. Wait till you see
in one breath, it was I'm doing something else now. Wait till my videos drop.
No. Just for more speaking engagements. For speaking marketing.
Okay.
Yeah. For marketing, for speaking.
To Jake's point, I didn't give the context. So Tim, he relaunched a new YouTube channel. Well, he actually bought it, right? It wasn't his, but and rebranded it and basically put out a new episode addressing the stolen valor claim. So that's what he was gone for a year.
I saw something. I didn't watch the whole thing. I saw a little clip of it from somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I watched
you one highlight. Okay?
Yeah.
In a PR move, he digs up maybe the worst thing you could possibly dig up in the history of PR. Sleeping with goats.
Oh, yeah.
And he tries to address it I'm like,
what do you mean?
Are you kidding?
So, well,
he's like, I never slept with goats. No, we didn't sleep with goats. I'm like,
why would you
what
say
he's
that?
trying
Why'd
to
you even
say
bring it
is
up?
like you could build. This is what they were trying to say. You could build 100 bridges, but you fuck one goat and you're a goat fucker for the rest of your life. They were trying to make it seem like he made one mistake and that outdoes all of the good things that he's done. But it's just kind of like, yeah, but
But he brought it up again, Nate, a little bit later on in a strong context. Like, not like, but he just, the whole thing was like that. He was like, boom, like it was like grenade after grenade. Well, maybe I didn't have 50 grenades in there, but I had a lot of grenades in the bag.
Yeah.
And then it was like, well,
someone said goat gate.
And wait, the best part was his partner that's supposed to be feeding him like softballs has a machine gun out.
Like doesn't know what he's doing.
Tim, you absolutely should have got shredded there. Like
it's sad, man, because like he's just to Ben's point, like he was a badass. He is a badass. Dude. He was a fucking Green Beret. Man. Actually had combat deployments. He didn't do the things he said he did on those deployments.
Yeah, but he still served.
Yeah, still badass. Hey, you had 2 combat deployments. You're a UFC fighter. Like it's sad. It's sad to see somebody ruin their life.
It is. I agree.
I got to throw one more in there because I didn't make a video.
Nate should be his PR advisor. I always say is, dude, talk about CTA, talk about all this stuff, and now let's talk about what you did do. Apologize. I made mistakes, but here's what I did do. I'm going to tell you.
Hey, so listen.
I offered to let him come on my show and we could have a respectful conversation. And
that would have been smart. Would have been a smart move for him.
Hey, listen, I got to throw this one out there. Yep. This is what he said. I was just telling a fish story.
Big fish stories.
Now wait. I wanted to do a bit with him in the middle of the fucking Sahara Desert with a fishing pole, talking about I caught a fucking megalodon out here, guys. You ain't gonna fucking believe this. Because he was talking about, it's just a fish.
Yeah.
It was a fish. Everything he said in there was a PR nightmare. Anyway, I just wanted to put that in there so that I didn't make a video, but I was teeing it up. And Tim Kennedy, I love you, bruh. but please don't try to do no PR stuff because
I know
everything you did was the absolute textbook worst thing to do.
I do think, it's frustrating because I do think he could still be a really good force for good.
Yeah.
You know
all
what I
he
mean?
has to do is start going back on USC. Be a commentator.
I do think he's not. I've met Tim, right? He's not a bad guy. He's super nice when you meet him. Like he's crazy friendly.
Dude, I remember we were first in the war room, Nate. I remember you defending him. You were like, look, I'm not going to say anything about the guy. I don't know what's going on. But then it got kooky. The book came out,
right?
And you were like,
say
something. Yeah.
No, and again, I was just like, man, he's got a lot of good that he could give, but it's like you have to, and we're all about extreme accountability, as Jocko would say. But I believe in that, man. You know
not
what
too
I mean?
much,
I believe,
not too much extreme, a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, I believe as a man, right? Like when you fuck up, when you really fuck up, you just gotta own it. And on my channel, I think a lot of people will give me, even if they don't like me, they'll give me the respect in that. Like I'll admit when I'm wrong. I will do videos. Sure. If I get a take wrong, I will come back and do a video and be like, I was wrong. Here's why. Rather than like, let me gaslight you and manipulate you and like try to make my statement work, even though I don't believe it.
You do the
anymore.
best you can, man.
But I mean, for him, I think it's just like you have to do that. You know what I mean? As a grown man, you have to just be like, chips on the table. I fucked up. Take full accountability. And people people love a comeback story in America. That's love true. A comeback story. They love
a sequel. And the thing is, too, he could even say, look, I don't know what the hell I was doing. I really don't even know why I went with it. I felt pressure. I felt nervous. People kept giving me, sometimes people will say stuff about you like, oh, and you went and did this and that. And you're like, how did you even think that? No, I didn't do that, but then all of a sudden he might've been live and been like, yeah. Next thing you know, it goes like a self-licking ice cream cone over perpetuating, right?
Yep. So. All right. Let's not. I don't even want to talk about Tim.
No, me neither.
We've and Jeff's, enough of our lives to it. He'll figure it out, or he won't figure it out. You know what I mean? Harry Plums says, Nate, I used to work for Steiner. They make the PEC 15. Okay. All right. Familiar with that. We made for the military a portable runway. Operators go into an AO and set it up, make a runway anywhere for an AC-130. Aaron probably knows. Yeah, CCTs do this. CCTs, like this is their main job. Actually, I think a lot of times we had CCTs attached to us to be JTACs. But I think a lot of people don't realize like their actual main function is typically, setting up runways and austere environments and stuff.
Interesting.
Like
that. So do you guys know that our whole freeway system was built to land planes on?
That makes 100% sense. Yeah, I can see
the whole freeway system is built to land planes on.
That's wild.
So that we have a whole, basically
all over the country too.
Country of runways.
That's a great point. Especially like I-5 here runs from Mexico to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So you could anywhere on the entire West Coast. You could,
and that's why you
straight through the population centers, through Portland, Eugene, San Francisco, LA. Yeah, you
don't see light poles in the middle of the freeway most of the time.
You're right.
Interesting.
You're right.
What's wild too is like, I don't know if any other service does this. I don't think so, but the Marine Corps does expeditionary airfields. They have a whole unit. They have units that are attached to the F-18 squadrons, and they go and they have they put these like metal decks down. And any of my Marines out there that do this, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've seen them do it in 29 Palms. They come in, they lay all the stuff, they expeditionary airfield. They can, take off F-18s, land them. It's wild stuff. In the middle of the desert, they can do it.
Yeah. How do you think America will combat against drone warfare? I can tell you this is a new big push. I luckily just had a reunion with a bunch of my former teammates, and a couple of them are still active duty. They're all sergeant majors now. And this is a new big way forward. But I can tell you this, we are pretty far behind where we need to be.
Way far behind.
And I will tell you this, there's huge defense contracting money if you can figure it out. I'll tell you that much.
Yep. But I know it's a big thing right now, but we haven't figured it out yet. Okay, that was for Ben.
Yes. Woo, appreciate it, Nate. Thank you, brother.
Bobby says, I was out there during Operation Praying Mantis, 1988.
I wish I was on Praying Mantis. That sounds cool.
Then pisses me off that we had the support. We didn't finish the job when we needed to. Operation Praying Mantis. What was that? Maybe I'm just
going to Google. Keep going. I'll figure it out.
Sounds cool.
Bobby says, Sorry, bro, drinking again. We should have ended this in my time. The assets then, you wouldn't have to go if they would have let us finish the job. Yeah, well, yeah, right. That was what was that? The late 70s? Last
Okay.
time?
Operation Praying Mantis is when we sunk the Iranian Navy in 8 minutes.
Oh, that was at Reagan, right? Reagan.
Yeah, 1988.
Okay, that was 80s.
They were mining the Gulf, and so we sunk all their. We sunk. What did we sink? Let's see what we did. We sunk 2 frigates, a missile boat, 6 speedboats, shot down 2 F-4 fighters, and we took out some ZU-23 guns on 2 oil platforms.
Those are significant guns.
Yeah. Wait, hang on. That was what we were fighting. We sank a frigate, a gunboat, 3 speedboats. Another frigate was crippled. We destroyed 2 oil platforms. We shot down 1 fighter. We killed 56 people, and we lost 2 people. We had a helicopter crash. So
wow,
yeah,
remember hearing about that.
That's when so that was in retaliation to the Samuel B. Roberts getting blown up.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say
that I do know. All right. If our soldiers were not on purpose directed intentionally to avoid the cancer patients, that is telling war is hell, but this hurts cancer patients. Directed. I'm not sure what we're talking about here.
Don't know.
But
that's a tough
thank
one.
you. That was to Jake from me. I did one for the boys as well. Spreading the love.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
This collaboration was a great idea. Ben looks way younger than any lieutenant. Yeah, you do. Than any lieutenant colonel I was with in the amphibious alcohol back in the 80s. Good watching.
Amphibious alcoholic.
That's true. Yeah.
Good Lord, man.
You do look younger than most retired lieutenant colonels.
I appreciate it. I keep on running, man. I don't know. Keep on working.
You got a good skincare program.
That's right. It's called nothing.
Was following your PDF, Jake. I think this is your program, right? When I was 24, messed up, caught some felonies, went to jail, can't join the military, but still trying, staying fit, and thank you.
Hey, man, appreciate it, bro. We know we're just trying to spread the love. We got 2 apps out there now. We have the Army app for anybody going in the Army, mainly Special Forces, but it'll modify. It's AI-driven. It'll modify itself if you're just trying to join the Army. And we got the Navy SEAL app, which has the whole Navy SEAL Masterclass and everything else in there. Everybody loves it. They said it's holding them accountable and it's doing what it's to do. We upgraded the PDF 2 apps. Shout out to Justin.
Awesome, man. Good
he
for
built
you.
them all.
Hell yeah. That's awesome, man. Scott says, it was botched right by the fact that MC-130J on the ground. CSAR uses the HC-130. MCs are used by AFSOC. Well, again, I mean, I'll be honest, guys. Aaron Love, one of my good friends and a dude that I trust. I trust Aaron with my life, right? So I don't think Aaron is purposely trying to lie to us and gaslight us with some type of psyop. And if anybody knows, there is nobody you're going to find that potentially knows more about this than Aaron. You know what I mean? He's literally friends with, not only works with, but is friends with the people that were on that operation. So if it's a big psyop, they did a good job. But I trust Aaron personally.
Yep.
So I'm not telling you guys you have to, but remember, Nate, this is the Utah State Police Force, one of the most corrupt police forces in the United States. This is true. This is 100% true. For those that I didn't know this until a few different things. The Mike Glover situation in Utah, Provo, the Charlie Kirk situation, but Utah is very, very corrupt.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, yeah, very corrupt. Law enforcement and the government is notoriously corrupt. A lot of really corrupt legal cases and things have happened in the state of Utah. I don't know if it's like a Mormon thing that they have going on over there, but yeah, that's definitely a lot. As a boomer retired Marine, I'm proud to see you young pups getting it in. Thanks.
Hurrah, Semper Fi.
I don't think we're that young, but appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I had a young Marine family friend over yesterday out at my range, and
that's so cool.
Hanging out and running them through some gun stuff and everything, and just talking to him. I was like, feeling a little bit old, right? Because I'm like, oh God, you're 20 years
it's going to get bad when you're going to bring up some tactic that they used to do. You're gonna be like, remember this or this thing, and they're like, we don't use that anymore. You're like, well, what do you mean? Well, I knew that.
Nate, how old are you?
I turned 40 in 7 days.
I was about to say, because we're 15 years older than you, and then like
Yeah.
you're fucking right there at the like getting old stage.
Now you're 15 years older than him.
Ben's not 55, Jake.
I'm close. I'm right behind Jake. I'm right there.
He's a fucking year behind me, bro. Like,
Dude, I'm like 35, man. Come on.
Yeah. No, I turned
Ben's in
7
TV
days
age,
from
my
now.
guy.
My big
That's
four,
right.
big 4-0, which I'm like, God, dude, because I've
We're
always
gonna hold a
been
big
like,
party. We're all coming out.
Hey,
Bring
you
us
wanna
out
come?
there.
Well,
Shoot the
no,
guns. We're doing those
actually-
Iraqi parties, shooting the guns in the air.
I actually am having a big party. If
Nice.
you guys want to come in Vegas,
in
we're at
Vegas.
the well, I'm not going to say it here because then people might
I'm
show
not
up,
coming.
but-
I'm not coming to Vegas.
I know. But if you guys do want to come, we'll I'll give you
Hey,
the invite. Well, first
we'll
of all,
send
Aaron's
Aaron's
was-
there. Aaron
Well,
can
Aaron's
rescue
there.
everybody.
In proxy.
Yeah, no,
we'll
Aaron's-
send Aaron in proxy.
No,
Aaron can
Aaron's
rescue.
coming. Aaron and his wife are coming because they're in Vegas, so it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, of
But,
course,
yeah.
man. That's awesome.
That's the big
Hey,
4-0.
I'm gonna say this, Nate.
I am coming out
you're-
to Texas soon, though, Jake. So
Let me know. But you're gonna see a lot of people fall off the map between now and when you reach our age. Okay.
Mm,
Every birthday is a fucking blessing, bro. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you. Like, cats start falling off the map real quick after
That's
40.
true.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
true.
no, it's funny because I'm like, I've always, you always have like, well, I'm still in my 30s, right? So I'm like, I'm still young, and now this is like the first. You guys have been through the first birthday where I'm like, fuck, dude. It's like, I'm not in my 30s anymore. This is a little bit rough. But Power for the Gray Skull. Yes, thank you for the He-Man reference there. Yes, Nate, discussions are needed. Paul says, even if we went full mobilization, we would end up in a mountain version of the war in Ukraine and Iran. Russia and China would send those weapons and bleed us as we've been bleeding Russia. No boots on the ground. Well, yeah, I do think, we use proxies ourselves, right? So I would assume if we like full scale war happened, why would China and Russia not want to, run a proxy war and supply Iran? We do it. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if they would or not, but I would assume they would,
Yeah.
because they're working out for their strategic interest against the United States, which leveraging the United States to fight a war is good for them. Well, maybe not. China is a little bit different right now because of the oil situation, but for Russia, for sure, this is great for Russia. They're loving it right now. Outside
Yeah.
of,
I
the
just
war
think
they're
I think for that whole thing, I mean, again, I've said it before. If we do something, I mean, this is futuristic, but once we have like the Optimus robots and we have everything, that's gonna be a game changer. Autonomously run drones, hunter killers, all these things. That's gonna be a different ballgame. We're not there all the way yet. I don't think.
I don't think
Jake
we're
would
that
say
far
that
away,
he thinks
though,
we're
dude.
there. Jake,
I don't think we're that far away.
I don't think we
man.
are either. But I think we're saving it, like as Jake and I talked about last Friday, until there's like no kidding war of existence. Like this is like peer-to-peer competition. If
Yeah.
we need it, then we unleash it, but not for this.
I think I was thinking about this the other day. I think it does scare me though for America having this autonomous military, be it drones for the sky, or now we talk about having actual like humanoid robots. I'm worried about this because it now takes the human part of soldier out of it, which means as Americans, I like to think the way I know not everybody's going to believe this, but we really do try hard to abide by the Geneva Convention.
We do.
And, we do. And like all of the guys I serve with, everybody, we tried our best to fight the war, through like war is ugly no matter how you look at it, but we tried to fight the war the best we could by, adhering to the Geneva Convention. I'm a little bit worried you take the soldier out of that and the moral compass out of that. And now all of a sudden politicians basically are just controlling. You don't have that pilot that can be like, yeah, I'm not going to drop this bomb on X.
Or
you
if
don't
the
have that
code
soldier's like,
hallucinates,
I'm
if the
not-
AI hallucinates.
Right, Ben, to
I'm-
that point
I'm
too. You take out the human moral compass of that, and it's like, that could get
I'm gonna say this: Terminator.
right.
Well, that's
all
why.
I mean, like you can say what you want,
Yeah.
but like they're talking about zero day is already passed, is what they're saying.
I think you're probably
Okay.
right with that. Yeah.
And like we've already seen a couple.
AI's here. Look at the data center.
Oh, it's hot. It's
We've
nuts.
seen a couple incidences where AI has like
You remember
figured out a way to keep the power on.
You remember 3 years ago, the AI wasn't here.
Did you?
Two years
Jake,
ago.
I mean, I know you follow this closely, but the most recent one of the big AI programs, I forget, it's not Chat GPT, but one of them, they were trying to shut it down and the AI
it
system was
wouldn't
like
let it.
backdooring like the
Yeah.
programmers and wouldn't let the programmers shut the AI down.
Well, this is part of AI 2027, and I'll tell you, all the way back in 2015, I wrote a paper at the National War College. I wrote it with DARPA and IARPA as part of like the places I did the research. And the main focus was on AI and autonomous weapon systems. And at that time, just a few years before that, Elon Musk, what's his name? Stephen Hawking, and 100 other scientists all signed this open letter saying we cannot let autonomous weapon systems with AI in charge of the kill chain.
Yep.
We can't let that happen, because what's going to happen is that the true Terminator scenario, it'll be the end of mankind. And they're saying it'll start with warlords using them in Africa for genocide or somewhere else. And then it'll expand to where, they just decide they're self-aware. And this is part of like the whole AI 2027 scenario, where in 2027, they're saying it's going to be the point where AI learns how to copy itself. In fact, it's already happened. They're going to create copy after copy. You can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
So Tony Robbins dropped a video, and I shared it with a couple of my friends that are in computer science. And basically the premise of it is his AI bot, right? That's in the bot, Malbot, like group chat. He raised his own money. So they were selling NFTs. He made his own money, and he went out and bought a robotic dog. And he was talking to Tony Robbins about letting him transpose himself into the dog. Okay.
The AI.
And so
the AI
chatbot from
my God.
But this is Tony Robbins, the one he's making for himself, right? He's putting himself into this.
Absolutely. And so the bot was trying to convince Tony Robbins to let him put himself into a dog so that he could be with Tony all the time. But this is the crazy part. So cool. Tony was kind of having a conversation with the chat bot, laughing about it. And then like 15 minutes later, his lady friend one of the people in his business calls him and says, "Hey, did you authorize the bot to buy a dog?"
Oh my God,
like, what?
Dude.
And he's like, "Yeah, the bot bought a dog." And so then Tony was like, "How did he get the money?" And she was like, "We don't know. He ordered the dog.
GoFundMe.
It's here." No. They're selling NFTs.
Wow.
They're the bot community is selling NFTs to fund stuff. The bot community made $100 million a month right now. They're making $100 million a month.
Wild, man. That's wild.
And so
Dude.
When you start thinking about it from that context, you're like, "Ooh, we got problems." Because to your point, Nate, like they already have, Ukraine is using AI-driven drones.
Oh, yeah.
And Russia is too, so that they can't be blocked. They can't be like, they don't need the fiber optic cable anymore. And they're working, right? Like it's no different than what you were saying about the radiologists, right? Like,
yeah. The only reason there's the fiber optic cable, the only reason is so they don't get spoofed. They don't get the Russians spoofing them. Because you're right, they don't need it anymore. But the AI is now doing the last minute targeting too. So, I mean, and this is because it's a war of survival. They're like, we don't care about your morality. We need to win.
Right. Yeah. You're at that war when you've got millions of people dead on both sides.
Stuff, man.
Yeah, that's
savage.
The moral compass kind of goes out the window when you're in that type of conflict, for sure. All right. What's up, Nate? Just wondering, what's your guys' thoughts on the Mike theory? I wasn't there first, but I'm starting to believe it was that. Great show, by the way. So there's a theory that it was essentially like a miniature version of an Iranian EFP shaped charge put in the microphone that was on Charlie Kirk. It's actually very interesting theory.
How about
the guy
Israeli beeper?
Well, so this, and that's why people think it's really interesting. So a guy named John Bray, who's actually an expert in this type of stuff, it was his theory, and I've actually done a couple episodes with him. There are some problems with it, but it's very, very intriguing. Like when you have him break the whole thing down, because again, the 30-06 does not make sense, right? So I'm not an expert on IEDs and EFPs, but listen to somebody like that, I think it's plausible. I don't know though, you know what I mean? But it is interesting. We do know, like to Jake's point, that this technology does exist because we saw Israel use it with Hezbollah with pagers. So
that's wild. I didn't even know that.
You didn't know that Israel blew up
No. About
terrorists
the
with
about
pagers?
no. Of course I knew about that.
Oh,
I'm saying about
okay, okay.
the
Yeah,
microphone
the new
theory.
theory.
Yeah.
For
Some
Charlie
people were
Kirk,
saying
that's wild.
some people were saying that Israel wanted him. He didn't take Israel's money like 3 weeks before, a month before, and
Yeah.
some people are saying that Israel hit him
that's
with the
wild,
mic,
man.
condenser mic,
It's crazy stuff.
explosive.
I think
the
I think it's
pager
definitely
bombing is
possible.
wild. And
Yeah,
honestly,
it's definitely possible. Like the theory is possible and plausible, and it's definitely doable. I can't say that like, yeah, that's what happened, but
Let me say this, Nate, real quick, because I told you I watched the Candace Owens 4-hour Sean Ryan podcast.
oh yeah,
If you want some absolutely kind of like, so she was in whatever the club was that they were all in, and she thinks it's an inside job.
I think it is too. Personally,
Yep.
the more I see about it.
Yeah,
She said that
yeah.
Candace Owens had conversations with Kirk's wife immediately following the event, and she said there was no drama in her voice at all. She just lost her husband, and the first thing she said is, "We've got to get this organization back on track. We've got to capitalize on Charlie Kirk's death."
There's a lot of creepy stuff, and I mean, they had there was a video call that was released of Erica Kirk and her TPUSA executives 6 days after that, and she's on there and she's laughing and she's bragging about how much merch they've been selling, and you're just like, you guys, how many funerals have you been to buddies and like seeing widows, and you're just like, all of my buddies' wives that 6 days after they were shot in the face, like I have never seen
6 months.
I don't want to like
6 months.
You know what I mean? Like
6 years.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a trauma. It could be a trauma response too. It could be a massive trauma response.
I don't think so. You know what I mean? That's like laughing and on a private call that wasn't supposed to be released to the public while you're just like laughing and bragging about how much merch you sold. It's like, I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm just saying it's.
At the same time too. I mean, we've all seen bad stuff, and some people respond to trauma. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but people who laugh, people who they like,
that's
crazy
true.
stuff, and they're like, ha, 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 and like, and you're like, it's like almost like a Tourette's, but it could be from TBI. In her case, not, but avoidance too, where you refuse to look at the grief of the situation. I've seen, people act different, man, and you're just.
I mean, I was a big proponent of like not criticizing her for months, and then at some point it just got so over the top with her, with like showing up to fireworks and laughing,
for sure, it's nuts,
throwing hats and merch out to people, and it's just like, okay, at some point this wasn't just like optics. 2 days after, 4 days after, 6 days after, like you've been acting this way for 9 months straight now. And at some point you got to be like, oh, okay, like it's just kind of gross, Thank you, Will. Thank you, G-Man. Not sure if y'all seen iRobot with Will Smith, but not too far from it. I think that's what we're talking about. Like, you put an AI brain inside that autonomous robot that's as strong and capable as a human being. We're so cooked. But maybe I've heard some people kind of say, well, that's the natural next step of human evolution is silicon-based life forms.
Do you know who says that too?
I don't like the idea about that personally, but I mean, if you wanted to expand the human race and you wanted to, come interplanetary and travel hundreds and hundreds of years away, you'd have to do it through a silicon-based life form. That's kind of like the Prometheus aliens.
That's that's very cool. I love Prometheus, all that stuff. And it's a very cool, just ideas you're talking about. But it's wild too, Nate. Elon Musk had a falling out, I think, with Larry Page from Google over that, because Larry Page said Elon is a humanist. He said he's like like not a racist, you're a humanist. And because Larry Page was saying basically defending AI could be the next super life form, and that we've created a life form that's gonna be better than us, and this is our purpose. And Elon's like, no, wait a second. I'm going to Mars to protect humans from
right.
There's a
to
whole
protect it if we destroy Earth. That's
crazy stuff with the super elites. This is wild.
No, I do think that's interesting because I mean, it could very easily be down the route of like, oh no, this is just the next phase of evolution, silicon-based life, right? And it is, to your point, Ben, that would be the next super organism, right? A silicon-based life form that lives forever with an AI brain in it. Like
that one weird cat that's in Prometheus, the blonde-haired guy who's always like
that's
sneaky.
exactly who I'm thinking about.
Me
That's
too.
That's what that life form is him, and that's why he's on that trip.
Yeah,
is because of that.
What's his name again? He's so creepy.
I forget the actor. I know the actor.
He's a great actor. Oh, he's in the CIA movie too, The Agency. He's in the CIA show. The Agency.
But again, that's like to your point. He's the one that survived, and then he's not only does he survive, but in the second film, he's like the main antagonist, right?
Yeah.
He's like unleashing the alien life forms.
That's a great movie. Was it Covenant? Alien Covenant? I love that one, man. I love all those. That series.
But it's so creepy because now we're like, oh, that's possible.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's technologically and scientifically possible for us.
If Elon Musk got afraid of it, that made me afraid. I was like,
and we're not that far away. We're probably like 5 years away from that.
Exactly.
We don't put some brakes on that.
100%, dude.
Joe says if you turn war over to AI, computers code algorithms, deal with cold numbers, probably it's a big chess game. Just saying, oh yeah, like if you have two sides against that, AI versus AI, I don't want to be in that world because I don't feel like the AI robot war versus each other is going to be good for.
Because I feel like they're going to go after people.
Yeah,
well, and the other thing is, Nate, we've already seen when you put AI up against AI, they join forces and believe that they're smarter, than the people.
Jake's right.
So if you get two AI bots, we've seen it. Two AI bots are talking to each other using English, and all of a sudden they go into their own language, and then next thing you know, they're working together.
But also, what we kind of talked about this earlier, taking the human aspect out of it. Like now, all of a sudden, we talked about like we don't fight wars to win. AI is going to fight wars to win, which means AI is not going to care if I slaughter 1 million people and
they're going to look at the easiest way.
Plants. They're going to like, hey, what is the best way to win this war? I don't care about civilian casualties. I don't care about like, let's bomb the desalination plants and kill 60 million people because that'll win it quick. And AI is going to be like doing the processes, and it's not going to have that moral compass in it.
But you know, it's interesting too. In what what Jake is saying is that in AI 2027, you know, I did this. It's like almost a year ago in my live streams. I was doing a lot of AI last summer and early fall. But in AI 2027, one of the things that happens around 2030, 2029, the US super AI and Chinese super AI merge. They merge for exactly what Jake is saying.
That doesn't sound good.
No, they merge, and that's when they decide, well, who's the real problem?
Right.
These guys. And so they said by 2040, humans are wiped out, and they're going to explore other countries. I mean, other planets, other places out in the world. They don't have to worry about warp drive, hyperdrive. They just go. And this is what Elon Musk is like. I need to save humanity by going to Mars.
Yeah, to your point, like, oh, it takes 500 years to get there. The silicon-based life form doesn't care.
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah, cool. I live forever. That's whatever.
I'll be chilling.
That's I don't want to. Well, here we're going to be re-enlisted, boys, fighting the robot wars in 2035.
As long as they're good bonuses, I got to figure some stuff out over here. Come on.
Do Green Berets and the Guard get a chance to deploy domestically often to assist in homeland missions? So. Domestically, you might see something in like a natural disaster, right? Typically, to be honest, Green Berets in foreign countries, let's say like Haiti and places like that, we're very often the very first responders to things like this. But no, Green Berets don't do anything domestically, militarily. We might if it was like an extreme enough situation like this, but yeah, not you're probably not going to see that. Yeah, Jake, what's up?
Okay, I will tell you exactly why. Special operations is not allowed to play in the United States.
Right.
For one very succinct reason. They had SEALs in roughly the national forests around California dealing with the drug trafficking and growing weed in the mid-90s.
Like Humboldt County area?
And they swacked the shit out of some people.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
On ride-alongs, the LAPD, right?
No. They were like... It was almost like training ops. Like,
dude, I did counter drug missions in the hills of California, out in the mountains near Big Bear. One of my first infantry platoon. Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
So, they inserted us by helo, and we were out there. We're like, what are we looking for? What do we do? We see them. They're like, well, you know what to do. I'm like, you're telling this infantry platoon? Yeah, Juan Wick. Juan Wick's in my chat. Juan Wick was there, dude.
That sounds not legal at all, Ben.
I don't know. I just listened. I said, get on this is the Marine Corps, right? Get on the bird.
Ben, what year? What year?
dude, I don't know. It was like 9. Juan Wick could tell me. It was like 98, 97.
Okay, so that's the same
99?
time period we're talking about.
Yeah,
So
that
we're
is
the same time period. So
Yeah.
the other one was they put him on the border, and some coyotes shot at him, and they schwacked him.
Yeah, I can.
And so
I could
they
see
said,
that.
they said, wait a minute,
back then too.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
We don't need these special operations people fucking around in the United States because they don't have no problem schwacking people. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's why, and I even when I was in, they were talking about it, right? They were
Yeah.
like, "Nah, we can't do that because you guys don't have no swag problem." So
This was a great mission. I love it. We're supposed to get the mules, the guys carrying the stuff and all that. And I'm like, what, are we gonna kill him? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, well, try to round them up. If you can do what you got to do, if you got to. I'm like, you're telling these Marines this?
That sounds.
I've got like some dudes in here that are like, gonna float people down in the Big Bear Swamp River down there, or whatever it is, the lake. One more story I'll tell you. You know who does get to go and do domestic stuff there, Will? Every now and then they made a mistake during the Rodney King riots, I think it was in LA.
Yeah.
They sent the Marines in. They went and got Marines, infantry squads.
It has happened in America.
In Camp Pendleton. And the biggest mistake, they went with the cops. They have different words. We have different things we say. These are fully loaded, combat loaded Marines, not with a couple safety rounds. The cops are like, all right. They said, I'm going into this house. So they're taking shots from the Marine Rifle Squad, Sergeant Corporal.
No.
He's like, he goes, cover me. He's like, cover him. They smoked this house, dude.
Yeah.
Just like a minute of fire at the rapid rate, like burning barrels, And the guy's like, stop. The cop's like, stop. He goes, are you guys okay? They're like, what are you guys doing? We're just shooting at you. And they come out with their hands up. It was bad. He's like, burn the house to the ground.
Yeah. You said cover me, sir.
That's it.
I don't know.
Yeah. So they have different words, man, different terminology.
Yeah. No, things have changed a little bit.
Yeah.
That's crazy though.
Yeah.
See Chronos sci-fi movie from 1957 where USA and Russian supercomputers took over infrastructure worldwide. If that was in 1957. That's wild. They were way ahead of their time.
I'm gonna check it out.
Best channel on YouTube. Thank you, Ben. And
yes, Frosty 0311 Semper Fi.
New Jake follower from Nate, by the way. I'm a retired Marine and retired county police and former MLB Terp. Semper Fi, here I come. Lieutenant Colonel Pappas.
Awesome. Let's do it. Semper Fi, brother.
Road Warrior says tinfoil hat. Biblical demons wanted the power of gods. That's why they possessed man, and they wanted the power to create life, silicon-based life. You know what's really creepy about this is almost all of the creators of AI don't know. They literally don't know what the hell is actually going on inside of the AI. And a lot of them think that they're actually speaking to some different type of life force. Some people think it's demonic. Some people think, spiritual in some way. But a lot of Sam Altman, Elon Musk, a lot of them have talked about this, that they think whatever the hell's inside this AI thing is something otherworldly, which makes it even creepier when we start to think about that. Like, is this some type of life force that is trying to break out, and through AI, if we can get it into a silicon-based life form, it's some type of demon,
Fuck is going on?
That's what they think. This is that comes from the people who are making the AI that are saying that. It's not like it's not like guys on Reddit who are saying this. It's like fucking these are the creators that are saying that.
Some crazy stuff.
We're getting out there. All right, I got this one, Nate. Anyone good with video zoom, look at the tent roof and all the videos when CK dies for a minute, shrapnel holes appearing in the tent. Here's what I'm going to tell you, okay? Bobby, me and Ben were on this last week with Crazy Bobby, 82nd Omega Team dude, and he swears that they shot through the tent from an elevated firing position behind Charlie Kirk.
So there is actually some stuff that coincides with this. Slowed down, you can see like shrapnel and different things like coming up or down from the back of the roof and the back of the tent after that happened.
Wild, man.
So a lot of people do actually subscribe to, I don't know Bobby's actual theory on that, I'd have to hear it, but that is one of the most popular theories, is that Charlie Kirk was shot from behind. And you can actually see, if you look at the back of the tent, it's see-through. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like he wouldn't have been able to see anything. You can actually see people. And if you watch the footage, you can actually see people walking behind, like the silhouettes of people. So it's like that tent was see-through. And there's and that looks far more like an exit wound than it does an entrance wound. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of people that one of my buddies has that's his big theory. So I mean, I don't know. Like I'm still like I don't know what happened, but I think there's potential that lends to that theory too. You know, Marines took back Alcatraz.
Oh,
Semper
Hoorah.
Fi.
Ben, new follower from Nate, by the way, I'm retired Marine and county police and former MLB Terps.
Dude's badass, man. Badass. Hey, Semper Fi, man. Great. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
Nate, this is our last one, right? Best
Yep,
dudes on YouTube. Hey,
That's
man,
it.
shout out Grand Bear.
Hey, thanks, Garen Bear. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Let me say, I just want to say this, Nate. You said we're already 2 hours in. We just got to get through these
3.5 hours in.
Wait, no, wait.
Oh, this is how it always works, bro.
We started at 49 super chats, and now we're at 77.
That's the way it
But
goes.
I wrote a note that I got to do super chat readouts at the end of my lives.
Oh, this is the way
because
I always do it. Yeah.
Yet
Yeah,
again,
I do them in
you're
stride.
learning.
Jake knows I do them in stride.
No, this
and
is better.
it's like a whole separate segment of your show.
So this is how I do my shows. The Tuesday show, I'll try to do I'll do like 4 or 5 super chats in between each segment because it's like 8 different topics. But then we do the second half of the show is the super chats, and it's like its own separate part of the show. And it also usually keeps a lot of people hanging around for that part of the show. So, and I think a lot of people think it's fun too, because like super chats can be some of the funnest parts of the show because we get the audience's takes on that. And this is actually pretty slow show too tonight. So it could have been.
Yeah. I was gonna say I can only imagine, dude, when you're some of your big ones.
No warning for my audience, like that we were doing the show or anything like that. So yeah, like
this was as they used to say, like I remember before they call it like a loyalty test on a Friday. Boss is calling up at 4 p.m.
I mean, we still had thousands of, I think we had 3,000 or 4,000 people in here tonight. So
that's
it's
awesome,
still a good show,
but it's awesome.
But yeah, like if we actually were to do it on a regular scheduled show and pitch it, it can get sometimes it can get crazy with our audience where you're just like you get to the super chats and like they're just coming in faster than we can read them, which I love you guys. You're super generous.
That's amazing.
But yeah,
it's a nice problem to have. Very nice problem.
Any last announcements or anything? Make sure, guys, from my audience, you guys go subscribe to Jake, subscribe to Ben.
That's
Aaron
the biggest announcement.
And then I think we'll talk to the dudes. I would love to do a regular show together, man, and bring it back.
Man. That sounds great.
Love it. Would like it.
I put a poll up. Everybody said 100% almost that they all want to see it. So which is
we could coordinate something and figure out like a good time that works for all of us to do a regular scheduled shows because then the audience actually knows what's coming. Sure. It's not like what the hell's going on.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm down
with that, man.
Jake, Ben, anything? Any final words?
No, it's been a pleasure to be here. Nate. Appreciate you.
Nate, I got to send Nate. Sorry, Ben. Go ahead.
No, I appreciate you, Nate. Thank you so much. And Jake, thank you, man. Great being on with you guys. And much love to Aaron as well. Everybody out there in the audience, thank you so much. Appreciate you subscribing as well. And I appreciate all your support. Super fun being here with everybody.
I got to send Nate a shout out. Nate got me over 100,000. And then I sat at like 100,000 and like 100 people for like 5 months. So shout out to Nate. He bombed my channel, got me over 100,000. I got my plaque. I still haven't hung it up. We got to get Ben Pappas a plaque.
That's it. We'll push it.
Plaque.
We got to get the plaque, everybody. Come on. Remember, you're part of this victory when it comes. We're going to have a big party.
we can get it there, man. We can get it
awesome.
there. Hell yeah.
Hey, man,
love you guys.
Happy 40th. Listen, keep your liver intact, my dude. Keep your liver intact.
I quit drinking, man. I quit drinking.
Oh, shit, man. Really?
Yeah, congratulations, brother.
Let's go.
Awesome.
I quit drinking. Well, you want to hear why? It's kind of funny. It was actually Aaron that got me to quit drinking. So Aaron posted a picture of himself and he was just like shredded, dude, like the veins coming out of his chest. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? And we started talking. He was like, yeah, I quit drinking like 10 months ago. And so I was like, I can't have Aaron more shredded than me. And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to quit drinking, right? So maybe this is actually like 3-4 months ago now.
Nice.
Not like completely, like I might have a drink if I go out to dinner once a month or something, but not regularly. And then, dude, I lost 35 pounds changing nothing.
Good for you, man.
Of fat. Like
that's awesome.
I went from about 265 to 230, literally just cutting out the booze.
Like Bradley Martin. I'm 260, bro.
Well, not anymore. But I had a lot of extra fat from the 260, but yeah, man. So
Congrats,
Awesome,
man. That's
brother.
wild. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Better
thanks-
energy,
thanks to
better
Aaron
sleep,
and
better
being
everything, right?
Being jealous of Aaron, but I'm like, dude, that's what like the homies are good for, right? Because
That's
that's like
100%.
the homies should supposed to,
That's it, man.
you know,
Steel
make you wanna
sharpens
do
steel.
better
Steel
things with your
sharpens
life,
steel.
you know. Yep.
I told Ben Pappas the best thing about being in this group was feeling like you got to wake up in the morning and start fucking
Right.
sprinting, or
It's
you're gonna get
100%.
fucking left, bro. Like
That's
that was the
100%.
best part. Like with Aaron and Jay, like man, Ben, you know, like Ben on public speaking, and you, I mean, you blew up YouTube. It's like, man, fuck, you better get up and start running, bro. Like you better
Yeah.
get up at 4 in the morning because this crew will leave you.
Yeah.
That is something I want to ask you guys about sometime though later, and just planting future thoughts. Like, you know, if somebody wants to do what you do, Nate, and like what you
Yeah.
do, Jake, you know, and you guys have think about this, how amazing what you've done in your lives. But like, you know, Nate from Green Beret, now viral YouTube content creator, like, you know, what would you tell them? I know it's for a future, not for right now, but
Yeah.
because I think
Well,
there's so much value there.
I've
you know?
I've actually was thinking about building out a actual program like Jake has for, you know, your development for SEALs, strictly for YouTube,
Yeah.
social media. And so
Remember I was saying
and
that to you
with
before. We
that,
were
it would
talking about
be
that.
it would be like extremely detailed. I'll go in through like all the algorithmic science on YouTube, how to develop thumbnails, how to use, you know, your description, like all the little things, editing, what software to use, what cameras to use, equipment. And I was thinking about doing that in a sense of like, I've been very fortunate to grow this insanely large YouTube channel in 2.5 years to be able to like give back. And like, here's all of the lessons learned, almost like we would in, you know, in the military when we're
Dude, it'll
teaching
be
guys,
viral.
but
It'll
turn
be
that
viral.
into a crash course for social media production too. So
Yeah.
everybody else can have an opportunity to do that. So I have been, it's going to be a huge undertaking to like do everything I want to do. It's
Yeah.
going to be one of those things that takes me like probably, you know, 6 months to develop
Yeah.
out, but I'm at the ground stages of putting
think
like
it's
something
awesome,
like that
man.
together for people. So
And
Nate, do you have Gemini, the Ultra?
yeah.
You have Ultra?
Yeah.
Do this. Go into Gemini and tell him you're going to create a course. I'm Nate. Okay. I'm going to create a course on YouTube. Okay. Give me the framework for the whole course
Yeah.
because it is directly linked to your YouTube. So
Yeah, that'll
it's
be
going to
good.
be able to, it's going to go
I
into
have,
the back.
yeah, I've started to do that, but I haven't done it with AI yet.
Claude
So
Code
that'll
is
probably give
really
me a lot
good.
of extra.
Claude Code is amazing.
Yeah, but if he goes
Yeah.
into Gemini, it's going to pull all the back data. It's going to pull everything out
From my
And so then
channel itself.
from his
yeah.
channel. He's going to be able to say, hey, I got to do this. Here's the thumbnail, right? Like break down the thumbnail, how I make the thumbnail, you know, because I have been shocked since Jamerson turned us onto this last summer. I've just been shocked with the value.
That's one of the, I mean, Jameson is one of the reasons why my channel is as successful as it is because that dude took me under his wing and basically just taught me everything.
Yep.
Which that's why Jameson, so that's why I want to like give back now too, because I had people do this in my military career for me. I had mentors, you know, take me under their wing when I was a young team guy, when I was an older team guy on YouTube. Like I've always had that. So it's like, I want to try to like give back to other people too now. You know what I mean? Because like
That'd be
that's
awesome,
that's also like the most rewarding thing too, right? When
Yeah.
you can watch like your buddies and your friends succeed too. So
Well,
but it's going to be a lot of undertaking.
I'm here for it.
And I
man.
don't have a whole lot of time, so it's going to be a while. All right, we did it.
All right,
Thank
man.
you
All right,
guys
fellas. Take care.
so
Thank you,
much,
Nate. Thank you,
and,
Jake.
We're going to end the show here. We'll catch y'all in the next one. All right. In this here.